You're listening to the SportsVisions Morning Show, brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services and the Finley Firm. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry about that, guys. Always some technical difficulties, and obviously what happened on the day that I'm in studio by myself, because DJ Jones is actually on the road right now to Tampa Bay, but he's joining us via phone call. DJ, good morning. It's the SportsVisions Morning Show, rocking and rolling this Friday.
TGIF. Happy Friday, Thrift. And, of course, I want to just say congratulations to everybody out there that had an opportunity to join in with us yesterday at the 10th Annual SportsVisions High School Female Athlete of the Year Awards. Good Friday. I just want to say good morning to everybody. Thank you for helping us start your day. And, again, Thrift, business and journey calls. Obviously, Miss Candy had a death in the family earlier in the week, so she had to take off and head down to Tampa. And, of course, tomorrow morning is the Black Business Bus Tour, her big deal down there. And this is the 20th year. And, of course, I have to be there to support her. So I'm going to be flying out here this morning. I'm actually at Grooms Transportation in Columbus, getting ready to get on a shuttle in about 30 minutes. Headed up to take a flight out of Atlanta. But tell you what, definitely wanted to check in with you this morning. I know you're going to hold it down. And I'm just so happy for those young ladies yesterday. By the way, you did a fantastic job, emceeing as you always do. I do think that you got something coming for you in that department. But, all in all, man, it was a beautiful day. A lot of great responses on social media, a lot of texts, a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls. And you know what? We just did what we do. We love these young ladies, and we wanted to celebrate them. And we not only wanted the community to understand how much we love and support our female athletes, we wanted the world to know. So we did a couple of things, and we're going to hopefully produce a couple of videos and try to make them go viral. But we are really proud of our female athletes here in Columbus, Phoenix City, and the surrounding areas.
No doubt, DJ. It was a ton of fun yesterday. For everyone that missed it, you can go to the SportsVisions Facebook page right now, and you can see yesterday's luncheon. It was an incredible day. All the girls were dressed to the T, and a lot of fun, and we appreciate everyone that supports and all the local corporations and businesses that support what DJ and Dale created. And by the way, got a show. It's going to be kind of different. I'm going to be in studio. I had some guests originally lined up. Things happen. But I will have Dana Barker on at 8:30 to talk Columbus RiverDragons, and Nathan Flurry at 8 o'clock from the Columbus Lions. But until then, I'm just going to be chopping it up with you. A lot to be getting into. I may even throw one of our best of interviews, a DJ that we've done in the past. During one of the segments, but I'm going to be here all 3 hours. And after this first segment, I'm going to go down the list of 18 schools. DJ, we had represented yesterday, 2 MVPs for each school, plus the specialty awards winner. I guess I want to ask, man, what was the thought when you and Dale created this 10 years ago, and now seeing what it's turned into is unbelievable?
Well, everyone knows, or most of the people that know of the history of our SportsVisions, Dale and I started it over 20 years ago. And we were just, we love Columbus. We both grew up in Columbus. We both played youth sports. We both remembered all of the greatness that was poured into us by our coaches, our teachers, our parents, and, of course, just a lot of folks in there that had their hands on and eyes on us. So, again, to show appreciation, and again, we started a television show initially. But that ended up evolving into some radio show and a magazine and a few events that we were able to signature with regards to celebrating, first and foremost, what was so good to us, football. And we started the football luncheon. It'll be this year in December. It'll be 18 years, Thrift, that we would have had started the SportsVisions Football Awards. And, of course, we started in our humble beginnings up at the old Hilton Garden Inn Hotel. Again, that ballroom up there that held probably about 160 people. And, man, I tell you, we started with, my former teammates, some former competitors, and then, of course, it grew into, when God has his hands on things and he knows in your heart what you're trying to do, he's going to give it to you. He's going to give it to you 3 or 4 times. And, the bottom line is, we had some sponsors and some community partners that believed in our mission. They believed in our goals. And here we are, man, 18 years later. And since that time, on the football side alone, we've had the opportunity to bring in the likes of Nick Saban. Not 1, not 2, but 3 appearances at our SportsVisions Football Awards in Columbus, Georgia, to celebrate and honor our young student athletes. And of course, Kirby Smart has been twice. We've had the likes of course, Hugh Freeze last year, year before last. Jeremiah Castile did a powerful job last year. Gus Malzahn in his day over at Auburn, his last few years at Auburn, he popped in town. But to see and to know that, we've been able to expose our student athletes in Columbus, Georgia, to the greats, to the GOATs of the game in college football, has been spectacular, and it just warms my heart. And, some of those young men have now gone on and had successful careers in college. Some of them are in the pro ranks. Some of them are successful citizens in our community and other places, man, and their fathers, their husbands. And again, it means so much to us. So with that, all of that said, we realized, several years in, about 6 or 7 years in, you know what, we can't just honor the football and the players and the guys. We got to include our fabulous young ladies, the girls that work so hard, that do just as much as anybody. I mean, their sports are just as important as the boys' sports. So we've just decided to do it. And 10 years ago, we started with that, and we wanted to not only recognize the top female athletes in East Alabama, West Central Georgia, and again, for the most part, and we try to stay true to this, is to honor the young ladies that we cover in the schools that we cover. Now, sometimes that's a little difficult because, again, it takes gold to run a train, and it takes coal to run a train. It takes gold to run a campaign.
Yep.
And I say that, again, standing on the shoulders of my good friend, Dean Calvin Smyrie. Community partners and sponsors are a must. I mean, we can't do this alone. We're not independently wealthy. God has given us a platform and a vision, and we have some tremendous people out there that bought into what we were doing and, of course, helped support it. And so they, again, came on board. And 10 years ago, yesterday, we started our Female Athlete of the Year Awards, and it's been absolutely fantastic. I just love that those young ladies are so appreciative. They're so beautiful. They're so smart, so talented. And you can see it, but they sit up, at the luncheon, as you noticed yesterday, Thrift, on that front row where we have all of the coaches and the student athletes. All the girls were, they were very, very professional, nice, pretty. They were very mannerable. Their etiquette was all, and so that's a little edge, I think, that I've noticed over the boys over the years now. I have my favorites. Yeah, I must say that I do love the fact that, we are honoring these female athletes, because the boys, and again, I was one of those kids, one of those boys that's sitting out there. You expect it. You want people. People going to honor you. People going to celebrate you. But these young ladies, they're appreciative, man, in every sense of the word, and I love it. Shout out to, of course, Tawana Tree Williams yesterday, 3-time Hall of Famer. She blew the doors off of it. I mean, again, nothing is better than having a speaker. And again, over the years, we've had some quite accomplished speakers on the female side as well. But Thrift, it was a great day. I tell you, people are blowing me up, man, with talking. And again, all we do is what we do. We do it every year. We try to get better. And again, with you leading the way there, you and Loretta Rose, I couldn't got a two better master and mistress of ceremony. Basically, you were the master of ceremony. It just wasn't in print. But I appreciate you. I appreciate all of the folks that supported us. And again, my hat's off to the community.
No doubt, DJ. We had a ton of fun there yesterday, and I'll get into all the award winners. We'll talk but about Tawana Williams, as you just made mention. She had her incredible story and speaking to those young ladies. But DJ, a couple things I took away. You talked about it, the appreciativeness of the girls when interviewing some of them, including Alexandria Lofton. I mean, they blew it out the water. So well spoken, spoke with so much confidence, DJ. And it shows, man. It shows why she is actually going going to be playing at Boston College next year on a D1 soccer scholarship. So we got some phenomenal female athletes in our area. But I do got to ask, CJ, before I let you go and we take our first break, is before this, we got the show started, you had a great idea about the girls just strolling their stuff across the stage and being proud of being recognized as the top MVP at their school. What came for that thought to come into it? And then the second question is, we also had a community service award, and we were able to recognize our photographer, Lester Booth.
Absolutely, Thrift. First of all, I'm always thinking, of ways to get better. And I'm always thinking of whether it's the show, whether it's the event, whether it's, how I prepare for my day. I've always done that. I guess that has been, I could give a credit to all the people that have poured into me to always say, hey, look, you got to, always think of try to get better each and every day. Try to get better. So, I just had a revelation about 2 or 3 days ago. I said, you know what? We have a wonderful program, a wonderful lineup. What could I do to push the envelope just to make it a little bit better? And I just had in my mind, I said, okay, I know that Loretta's going to open up and welcome everybody, and then she's going to introduce me to come up to give the occasion as I've always done.
Right.
But in that 3, 4, 5 minutes, I need to create some energy early in the program. So why not? Off script, impromptu, have the young ladies come up and come stroll across the stage, and however they want to present and represent their school, their family name, their city, their alumni, whatever. Just walk across the stage. If they want to walk across like a prom queen, so be it. If they want to, dance across the stage, so be it. But I just wanted everybody, and I wanted those young ladies to know how much we celebrate, how much we love them, how much we appreciate them. And it was just give them their moment to walk across the stage. And it's always something about luncheons or banquets, as you see on television, when people take their stroll or walk across the stage. So I basically told DJ Cashflow, give me some music. Lester Booth, I wanted another great opportunity to get the girls up because, the girls, some of them are shy.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, look, we need to take a headshot first and foremost, and then we're going to walk across the stage. However you want to do it, we're going to make a video. We're going to make a movie, and we're going to make it go viral. And man, oh man, you know what? They walked across that stage, and all, it seems to be 50, 60 of them.
Yep.
And hopefully we can do something with that footage and get it out there, because we just want the world to know how much we love and appreciate our female student athletes. And I wanted them to know that. And again, I think that the audience got that feeling right off the bat, not 30 minutes into the program, only, within the first 5-6 minutes. And I think we accomplished that.
And DJ, we stayed on time. That's the biggest thing. But you surprised Lester Booth, man. And you know how he is. He's got to act up too, acting like he didn't want to accept the award. But that's our guy, man. And listen, when you see those beautiful photographs right after each and every one of our luncheons, it is because of Lester Booth. And he does so much for SportsVisions and SportsVisions Luncheon.
Absolutely. Yeah. Lester didn't want to he doesn't take pictures. Get this, he's a photographer, but he doesn't like to take pictures. And you hear that all the time. But you know what? I touched his heart. Lester is a special friend of mine. We go way back to my days at the University of Georgia. His lovely wife, Laquita, was like a godmother to me, or like an auntie, as they call them today. And she was working at the university and from Columbus. And I was able to get, that love and affection in Athens in my early years. And it was great to know that to be in college away from home with somebody who knows you, somebody who cares about you. So that's how that relationship started with Lester and his wife, Laquita. But Thrift, he's been just about at every luncheon that we've had, if not every one of them. And he does a tremendous job. A little bit later today, you'll be able to go online and see some of the pictures. But he has, over the years, has been phenomenal. So I just thought it was necessary. Miss Candy, when I told her what I was thinking, she just doubled down on it. And again, it couldn't happen to a greater guy. He's a special person, an excellent photographer. And I'm just glad he's on our team, Thrift.
I am too, DJ. And again, we had a lot of fun. But DJ, enjoy, be safe on your trip. And I cannot wait to talk more sports. We got a lot we're going to be chopping up after this weekend. Clingstones, Lions, RiverDragons are in the playoffs. We got Braves. So much we're going to get into on Monday. But enjoy the Black Business Bus Tour. Everybody follow DJ on Facebook. You know, he'll be putting pictures out and what is a phenomenal opportunity down in Tampa Bay put on by my Aunt Candy. DJ, love you, man, and I'll see you on Monday.
Let me just share this with you, Thrift, before you go. You know that you were built for this. So regardless of how it happens, obviously, as a competitor, you know what? Sometimes, hey, you know what? Your quarterback ain't gonna show up on time, or maybe something falls through. Maybe you left your playbook in the car. The bottom line is you're talented, you're gifted, and you are built for this. Have a great one.
Thank you, DJ. That is DJ Jones. He is going to be on his way to Tampa Bay. Hey, listen, I got a ton of stuff we're going to be getting into, man. I'm going to be talking about who are those award winners. I got some thoughts on the NBA playoffs. You know I always do as the first round starts. Last playing games tonight with the Hawks. First round starts tomorrow, and then more. Plus, we got special guests in the 8 o'clock hour, Nathan Flurry of the GM of the Lions. It's military night tonight, and they take on the only undefeated team in the NAL. That is going to be a massive game at 7. Then we talked with Dana Barker ahead of the RiverDragons, who are on the road against Athens Rock Lobsters. They won game 1. All they need to do is get one of these games on the road, and they'll win the best out of 3, and they'll move on to the conference finals. We're going to take a quick break. Got to pay some bills to keep the lights on. When we come back, we got more. It's the SportsVisions Morning Show right here on SportsVisions 92.1 FM.
Flashing lights, flashing lights, flashing lights.
Good morning. I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. Georgia businesses are feeling the pressure from ongoing global tariffs, but the state's Chamber of Commerce is urging for businesses to remain calm, recommending foreign trade zones and alternate supply routes to ease the impact on key industries like manufacturing, technology, and agriculture. Chris Clark, the CEO and president of the Georgia Chamber of Commerce, explains.
We're encouraging Georgia businesses that are importing and exporting to use the Georgia foreign trade zones. This helps you delay duties, look at other factors within the trade supply chain. It's one of the affiliates of the Georgia Chamber. We're also encouraging and seeing businesses looking at different trade routes instead of bringing in goods through other ports to use the Georgia ports.
Meanwhile, federal job cuts are hitting Columbus, with 6 health department employees laid off after a major COVID grant was pulled. Local officials say services will continue for now, but more cuts could be ahead. In Alabama, lawmakers are debating a bill that would let the state take over struggling police departments in high-crime cities. But while some see it as a fix, others say deeper issues must be addressed beyond leadership changes. From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great Friday, everybody.
Good Friday morning. We are off to a mild start with these temperatures near 50, and we are under clear skies this morning. It's going to be another beautiful hot spring day as these temperatures reach the upper 80s later this afternoon and tonight. Clear and mild. Those lows falling in the upper 50s. Watch out for some light patchy fog by your Saturday morning. And we're going to be talking about a hot Easter weekend with increasing clouds. Those rain chances slowly increase next week.
Attorney advertised. Local counsel, Alexander should not run trial attorneys. Paid after dramatization. Past results do not guarantee future results in each case.
Did you see the news the other day? They was talking about accidents. They said every single accident there's been a dog sighting report. They said if you get into an accident and you see the dog, don't go near him, don't pet him, don't talk to him, don't do nothing. Call the police. He bites. Call Top Dog as soon as I seen it. Like I seen you on the news. You see what happened when you go biting everybody? You see what happened? Now your face is everywhere. Everybody know that you Top Dog. That you the one biting these insurance companies. You Top Dog. How you get into all these accidents anyway? Like how you always there? How you always the one that they call? Because you getting them top dollar. Any accident. Top Dog Law.
Auburn family, join us in welcoming head coach Larry Vickers to the Plains as he leads your Tigers into a new era of Auburn women's basketball. This past season alone, Vickers led his team to a perfect conference record and a program record of 30 wins en route to their third straight conference title. As head coach, Larry Vickers brings championship pedigree to the Plains. You'll want to lock in your season tickets early for this new era of Auburn women's basketball. Head to aubtix.com. We'll see you in Neville Arena and War Eagle.
Aflac, helping people for more than 6 decades focus on recovery and not financial stress. Check out their policies at aflac.com. Knowledge, wisdom, excellence, service are the core values of Morehouse School of Medicine. To learn more, go to msm.edu.
At Cartoons Car Stereo in Columbus, buy it today, get it installed today. That's right, same-day installation. Cartoons, Rockford Fosgate products, stereo head units, amps, speakers, speaker boxes, alarms, remote starts, navigation units, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and so much more. Get same-day installation today. Call or stop by today for details. Cartoons, Cartoons on Veterans Parkway in Columbus.
Corey's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
It's springtime and a perfect time for you to visit Gory's luxurious outdoor patio. This is not your average big box store outdoor furniture. This will last you season after season after season. Sofas, love seats, and outdoor recliners. Come see it for yourself, and that's only at Gory's Furniture, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
Everything is expensive right now. Gas, food, you name it. You're spending more, you are making the same or less money. So what do? You rack up credit card debt. That's what you do. It's not your fault. It's the economy. And guess what? If you rack up too much credit card debt like some of us, you can't pay your bills. Then the credit card companies, as nice as they are, start hounding you for money. Then you start your downward spiral. A smart thing for you to do is to call the Zero Debt. They can help you consolidate all your credit card bills into one affordable payment. Millions of people have done it. It works to make you debt-free. Make this free call right now. It costs you nothing to learn more.
800-628-5675. 800-628-5675. 800-628-5675. That's 800-628-5675.
Don't miss your chance to unlock employee pricing across the Ford family of vehicles at Rivertown Ford. Ford has been committed to America for over 120 years, and this is our commitment to you right now. You pay what we pay. Now through June 2nd, take advantage of employee pricing for all on the outstanding performance of new 2024 and 2025 Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Choose from hundreds of capable, convenient, and versatile vehicles in stock now and save on your next Ford lease or purchase, like the Ford F-Series with incredible power and even more possibilities. Drive away today in America's best-selling truck for 48 years and counting. Or take comfort in the Ford Escape's 5-star crash safety rating. Available in your choice of hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or EcoBoost powertrain. With standout style and convenient connectivity to spare. Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Feel the freedom of choice when you shop exclusive employee pricing today at Rivertown Ford, in our showroom or online at rivertownford.com. Exclusions apply. Please see dealer for details. Your home for Falcons football. Sports Vision 92.1. Now back to the Sports Visions morning show. Here's Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Hey, hey, hey. Refuse to be forgotten. Hey, hey, hey. I took a chance with my heart. Hey, hey, hey. And I feel it taking over. I better find your loving. I better find your heart. I better find your loving. I better find your heart. I better find your loving. I better find your heart. I better find, give all my love, and nothing's gonna tear us apart. I'm more than just a number. Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions morning show here on Sports Visions 92.1 FM. DJ Jones is heading to Tampa Bay. I'm in here holding down the fort, and we got some great guests for you here on Sports Visions 90 morning show. I got Nathan Flurry coming up at 8 o'clock and Dana Barker at 8:30. And this early morning, we want to say thank you for everybody that is tuning in. And we got I'm gonna right now go over all the award winners we just had in our 10th annual SportsVisions Awards Luncheon. And sorry, guys, 10th annual SportsVisions Awards Luncheon. And you know what? DJ and Dale created this many years ago, and it was incredible. Over 50 female athletes in attendance, 18 different schools represented at the Female Awards Luncheon. So let me go over them right now. So yesterday, as DJ talked about, we had cash flow set the flow and set the vibe at the 10th annual awards luncheon. Thank you to Lisa Marie, and thank you to everyone at St. Luke Ministry Center for allowing us to be there. As DJ talked about in last segment, Loretta Rose was excellent as always. But let's talk about the reason we were there, those female athletes. And there were 18 schools, and I'm going to go down the list of each school and talk about the MVPs from each school. Beauregard's Camry Torbett and Lindsay Moulton. Brookstone's Lucy Jones and Carson Galligan. From Calvary, we had Finley Jeffers and Noah Griffith. From Carver, Caden, KK Cooper, and Nala Dowdell. From Central, Ali Suppan and Jabria Lindsay. From Columbus, Alexandria Lofton and Emmett Jones. From Hardaway, Taylor Little and Tadan Hudson. From Glenwood, Emerson White, Amalia West Sanchez. From Harris County, Mia Balon and Kendall Robinson. You'll hear Kendall Robinson's name here a few more times. Jordan, Beatrice Sumi and Ari Battle. Kendrick, Tremia Robinson and Robin Mitchell. From Lynette, we had Micaiah White and Chloe Jones. From Opelika, Kendall Brudage and Michaela Jones. From Northside, Abby Lovell and Lauren Nickerson. From Bocelli, Charlotte Frisch and Kendall Isaacs. From Russell County, Kennedy Ellis and Mackenzie Word. From Shaw, Sahara Walker and Jabria Brown. And from Spencer, Brianna Brownlee and Alexandria Burke. Now, all these players, I don't know the specific sports for each one of them. For majority of them, I do know, but they represent from tennis, cheerleading, flag football, volleyball, softball, basketball, soccer, wrestling, and I may be leaving out a few more sports as well that are representing your track and field, cross country, archery. I mean, we tons of sports that each of the schools have, and we had an MVP. Doesn't matter what sport it was from, the MVP of those schools came in representation. They were able to get their award. So thank you again to all 18 schools for being in attendance, and thank you again to everyone that was able to make it yesterday. What was a fantastic luncheon. Then we had the specialty award winners. Morehouse School of Medicine, Most Outstanding Team Award. I want to say thank you to Chandra Edwards and Morehouse School of Medicine for being a sponsor of SportsVisions. And the Most Outstanding Team Award went to the Columbus Blue Devils game day cheer team that won a state championship. Their head coach was Haley Hardage, and congratulations to those Columbus Lady Blue Devils for getting the team award. SportsVisions Most Outstanding Coach Award, it goes to a guy that always well-dressed. I said this yesterday at the luncheon. He always outdresses everyone I know. He's the best dressed AD in this area. He's also the wrestling and track and field coach. His name is Russell Scott, athletic director at Jordan, who is the wrestling coach who had his girls come in second place in the state. Wow. He is a phenomenal coach, and his wrestling programs at Jordan have been legendary, and his program is legendary. And that guy's going to be a Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer in the near future. But he was our SportsVisions Most Outstanding Coach, was again Russell Scott. As DJ talked about, and I said earlier, the 2025 Community Service Award goes to Lester Booth. Great job by Lester, who is our photog and the guy that takes all those wonderful pictures of everyone looking absolutely fantastic at these luncheons. And again, DJ talked about it. It'll be released today on the SportsVisions Facebook page. So stay tuned for that. We'll make sure it's sent to you. The Chick-fil-A Servant Leadership Award goes to Abby Lovell. Abby Lovell, who again was and I think will go down as one of the greatest softball players that's ever come from this area. 2-time state champion, 3-time All-State, going D1 for softball. Abby Lovell, sensational talent. What an incredible career over at Northside, and she is very deserving of the Servant Leadership Award that she was able to receive. The Houston Clinic, thank you to Mark Baker. Also thank you to Todd Kalish of Chick-fil-A, but the Houston Clinic, Mark Baker and Houston Clinic, thank you for being there. This was an awesome award. It's called the Most Versatile Athlete of the Year. These are athletes that played multiple sports and not just played them, but dominated them. First, we have St. Anne Pacelli's Michaela Hosley. Michaela was the GIAA Player of the Year for flag football and won a state championship. And that's back-to-back years. She was the top player in flag football in that league and led her team to her state championship. Not only that, she was also a back-to-back GIAA Basketball Player of the Year and back-to-back GIAA state champion. So she ended her career with 4 state championships, 2 in flag back-to-back, 2 in basketball back-to-back. You talk about a phenomenal career. She will be going to Georgia Southern. Michaela Hosley, what do you say about her? And then I got another one, Alexandria Lofton, who was dominant on the flag football for Columbus High. Coach Greer's got an incredible program that makes it to the semifinals and state championships games every year. He made it this year. They came up just short. They had the lead late in the game, and they end up losing. But Alexandria Lofton was the best player, was an all-state on that team, and she's also the best player on a top 5 ranked Columbus Lady Blue Devil soccer program that may have a chance to win the state championship this year. And Alexandria, she's going. So Michaela's going to Georgia Southern for basketball, D1. Alexandria Lofton's going to Boston College for soccer. That is D1. 2 great athletes. Had a chance to interview both of them, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do at the next level. The Finley Firm Coach of the Year goes to Brandon Jenkins. Brandon's won 3 straight state championships, 2 back-to-back at Northside, and then this past fall at Harris County. So he's won it at 2 different schools, and in his first season at Harris County, state champions, this guy has got it, man. I'm telling you, he's the hottest thing going softball-wise in this area. He is everywhere he goes, every program he's at, he turns into gold, and that's exactly what's happened as he took over for the Harris County Lady Tigers, and in year 1 wins the state championship. The Jordan Girls Most Outstanding Female Athlete of the Year went to Alexandria Burke, a multi-sport athlete who was all region and all state in basketball. Alexandria signed a scholarship, and we're excited for her in the future. She was the Jordan Girls Most Outstanding Female Athlete of the Year. The Peaceful Rivers Residential Services David S. Williams Moore Courage Award goes to Kate Greer of Columbus High. Thank you to Miss Anita Gibson-Lloyd, who came and spoke on behalf of the Peaceful Rivers Residential Services David S. Williams Courage Award. AFLAC Student Athlete of the Year goes to Kendall Robinson of Harris County. Kendall Robinson, another phenomenal athlete who I was really impressed with, was the MVP. Kendall played multi-sports over at Harris County, and she is the student athlete. And she will name the place that she wants to go to next year, because she can either go as an athlete, she can go as a student. She's got scholarships galore. Congratulations to Kendall Robinson of Harris County, win the AFLAC Student Athlete of the Year. And then the last award, which is my favorite award, the Sue Walton Most Valuable Female Athlete of the Year. Now, everybody knows Sue Walton. She's a national phenomenon and an incredible athlete that was in the Olympics. I mean, we had her on the SportsVision morning show a few weeks ago. Sue is just, wow. I'm blown away what she was able to accomplish this year. And her coach Felix Walton was in representation for her. She is also related to Tim Walton, who we all know is the great coach, assistant coach at Ohio State. And the Sue Walton Most Valuable Player of the Year goes to Garrett Griggs of Central. Garrett Griggs is a softball player who won a state championship last year and was phenomenal. Best player on the softball team. She then followed it up after winning that last May to then this past fall helping lead Central to a flag football state championship, and not only state, but national. They finished the number 1 ranked team in America, undefeated, and they are national champions. Garrett Griggs, best player on one of the best players on that team. And then she also played basketball and was the leading 3-point shooter on Coach Rogetta Williams' basketball program that went to the semifinals this past year, the Final Four. So Final Four, state championship in softball, state championship, national championship, and flag football. And she's playing softball right now and has a chance to go back-to-back. What a career. That's a Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer if I've ever seen one. And glad that we were able to recognize her as the Sue Walton Most Valuable Player of the Female Athlete of the Year. And congratulations to all these award winners at the luncheon. Like DJ said, they came in representation. They look fabulous. They represented their schools well. We appreciate all the dignitaries. We appreciate all the ADs, Jeff Battles, and all the Muskogee County ADs from Calvin Thomas, Steve Smith, Tim Fenning. We just had an incredible time yesterday, and I know the girls enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, and if you missed it, again, it's on the SportsVisions Facebook page. You can go back and watch it right now and see all these girls come up and how fantastic it was, and then you get to hear incredible 2 things. One, Tawana Williams, who was a guest speaker, Chattahoochee Valley Sports Hall of Famer, Albany State Hall of Famer, Jordan Hall of Famer, helped lead Jordan to a state championship game back in the 80s with Coach Creek. Tawana Tree Williams was one of the best female basketball players we've ever had in this area. She came in and, man, she blew it out the water. She really resonated with the girls, and she was a great speaker for this occasion. And then Chandra Edwards of Morehouse School of Medicine, she touched on some things talking about drugs and especially fentanyl and everything else that kids are having to deal with nowadays. And you got to really be cognizant, student athletes, on what you put in your body. And she was there giving us the layout. And that is why we have her on, to do that, to educate our audience. And I was really impressed with Chandra. So you can go back and listen to that. Her and DJ had a fireside chat. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back from break, we'll have more here on the SportsVisions morning show on SportsVisions 92.1 FM. We'll be right back after this.
I got my peaches out in Georgia. Oh, yeah. I get my from California. That's that. I took my chick up to the north, yeah. I get my light right from the source, yeah. Yeah, that's it. And I see you, the way I breathe you in. It's the texture of your skin. I wanna wrap my arms around you, baby, never let you go. Oh, and I see you, there's nothing like your touch. It's the way.
Stay tuned. More local and national sports coverage next on the SportsVisions Morning Show. SportsVisions 92.1.
This hour of the SportsVisions Morning Show is brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services.
Don't miss your chance to unlock employee pricing across the Ford family of vehicles at Rivertown Ford. Ford has been committed to America for over 120 years, and this is our commitment to you right now. You pay what we pay. Now through June 2nd, take advantage of employee pricing for all on the outstanding performance of new 2024 and 2025 Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Choose from hundreds of capable, convenient, and versatile vehicles in stock now and save on your next Ford lease or purchase, like the Ford F-Series with incredible power and even more possibilities. Drive away today in America's best-selling truck for 48 years and counting, or take comfort in the Ford Escape's 5-star crash safety rating, available in your choice of hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or EcoBoost powertrain with standout style and convenient connectivity to spare. Ford Motor Company, from America for America. Feel the freedom of choice when you shop exclusive employee pricing today at Rivertown Ford, in our showroom or online at rivertownford.com. Exclusions apply. Please see dealer for details.
Aflac, helping people for more than 6 decades focus on recovery and not financial stress. Check out their policies at aflac.com. Knowledge, wisdom, excellence, service are the core values of Morehouse School of Medicine. To learn more, go to msm.edu.
At Cartoons Car Stereo in Columbus, buy it today, get it installed today. That's right, same day installation. Cartoons, Rockford Fosgate products, stereo head units, amps, speakers, speaker boxes, alarms, remote starts, navigation units, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and so much more. Get same day installation today. Call or stop by today for details. Cartoons on Veterans Parkway in Columbus.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. VA disability compensation is a monthly tax-free payment to veterans who got sick or injured in the military and to veterans whose service worsened an existing condition. You may qualify for VA disability compensation for physical and mental health conditions that developed or worsened due to service. Learn more at va.gov/disability.
School sports are played by humans, coached by humans, and officiated by humans. So the next time you're sitting in the stands at a school athletic event, please remember this and maintain your humanity, especially when it comes to judging and critiquing athletes, coaches, and officials. Please show your fellow humans some respect. They'll appreciate your empathy.
This message presented by the GHSA and the Georgia Athletic Directors Association.
Are you ready to make a difference in healthcare? Global Diagnostic Services is hiring. We're looking for compassionate and skilled registered nurses, licensed practical nurses, x-ray technicians, and ultrasound technicians to join our growing team. At Global Diagnostics, we offer competitive pay where you can thrive and advance your career. If you're passionate about patient care and want to be a part of a team that's dedicated to excellence, we want to hear from you. Whether you're looking for a full-time position or a flexible part-time opportunity in the state of Georgia, visit globaldiagnostic.net to apply today.
1 in 3 children born today will get diabetes. This sad prediction by the Centers for Disease Control will come true if millions of Americans don't improve their lifestyles, especially by changing what they eat, how much they eat, and how active they are every day. Every 23 seconds, another American gets diabetes. Stop diabetes before it starts. To learn more, contact the American Diabetes Association or download our free diabetes education programs at learningaboutdiabetes.org.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Then here's a great idea. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Yes, one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program and we'll come and remove your car for free. Fast, free towing, and 24-hour response. You can donate most cars, trucks, or SUVs in most conditions. The proceeds raised goes to help active military, veterans, and their families, and you get a tax deduction. All you need to do is make this free call. Get rid of that old car and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now and book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Donation Program now. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Operators are standing by. Here's the number.
800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. That's 800-890-7021.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick.
Thanks for waking up with the SportsVisions morning show. Let's get back to DJ and Thrift on SportsVisions 92.1.
Always there when you call. Always on time. Gave you my baby. Always there when you call. Always on time. Gave you my baby.
Welcome back to the SportsVisions morning show. DJ Jones, he's on Groom, heading up to Tampa Bay. Well, heading to Atlanta to then get on a flight to go down to Tampa Bay. But it's the Black Business Bus Tour coming up this weekend. It's a wonderful thing that his lovely wife, I call Aunt Candy, does every month, in which she goes and helps local Black business get recognition, bring in customers, raise a lot of money for the economy down there. And it's just been a wonderful thing that, along with Tea and Conversation, that allows politicians and the community to actually engage with one another. And I know DJ's excited about heading down there, and he'll be back in studio on Monday. All right, without further ado, I was able to pull him right out of bed and bring him on. He is Rick Beach of Sports, and of course, Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. Big Rick, what's up, man?
What up, bud? Doing all right?
Doing great, brother. It's been a long week, man, and a lot. We're going to get into quite a few topics, and we're going to make this a 2-segment, Rick, because I know you got some things you got to do later on this morning. But first things first, let's start with Harris County. Huge series that came up this week against Stars Mill and just didn't go the way that, Harris County wanted it to. But in the end, if you look back on this when the season started and you would have said 21 wins, finishing 3rd or 4th in the region, I don't know which one they end up finishing, Rick, you would have taken that every day of the week because how young this team is. What was your thoughts on Harris County?
Yeah, you would have took 21-9. They ended up being the 3 seed. It's hard to say because it is kind of, you end the season on a 4-game losing streak. Kind of the way you losing that you're giving up. Been a lot of errors in the field. It's
right,
and you don't have that momentum going into the playoffs. But at the same time, you get a couple days off. You get to start. I think Wednesday, playoffs start. They'll go to Pace Academy up in Atlanta. And, maybe that's just what they needed, that week off to gather themselves back. Yeah, first of the year, you would have took 21-9. You have a young team, a lot of freshmen and sophomores up and down that roster that are playing in key positions. The rotation, you had 2 freshmen, and your 1 and 2 were freshmen. You had your infield was made up of, had a sophomore at second base all year. You had your junior, Dejon Elder, it's his 2nd year playing, on the varsity level. So you would have took 21-9, and you had a shot going into the last series. If you sweep Stars Mills, you win the region. So you had, you gave yourself a shot at the end, and that's all you could ever ask any season.
Yeah, exactly, man. And then the amount of freshmen and sophomores, especially the 3-headed monster of the Dimitri boys and Brody Johnson. These guys are freshmen getting significant playing time and really being one of the top players on the team again. And then there's still 7th and 8th graders that are coming up that I know Tony said they may even, some of them be starting right now on the team. It's how talented that group is. So bright future for Harris County. So they finished as the 4 seed, but we talked about it, Rick. If you look at the bracket, that may be something that works out in Harris County's favor, being the 4 seed.
Yeah, well, they come in the 3 seed, so
Excuse me, 3 seed. Sorry,
but on that bracket, you'll run into Allatoona. They have a Georgia Tech commit pitching, but the thing about baseball is the best 2 out of 3. So if you have a really good pitcher, he can only pitch 1 game. So you kind of take, you say if you can steal that game, you feel really good. But even though you just beat the other 2, but you do get Pace Academy, which is a great school. They seem to have really good sports all the time. Our girls basketball program found that out this year when Pace was a 4 seed.
Yeah.
But you think back, I go back to football. That's what a lot of these high schools, from high school when they get recruits. When you look at college recruiting, you can see some of these schools, and a lot of these schools, they just put out good Pace Academy football-wise. Andrew Thomas from UGA that went on to the Giants, first-round draft pick.
Yep.
And Jamar Sawyer, he was a Pace Academy before he got drafted by the Chargers. So it's a great school. It's a great athletic system they have there, and that's where Harris County goes. But, hey, if you can get by that, still the 2 games against Allatoona, it is a better setup then I know the 2 seed has to go, and they'll have to play Blessed Trinity, and that's a tough bracket to get. But when you get in these playoffs, it's no telling. But sometimes you do catch yourself looking at the other brackets thinking, "Ooh, I'm glad I missed that team."
Yeah. And speaking of which, the number 2 seed is Northside. Number 1 was Stars Mill. Northside swept Central of Carroll, beat 2 out of 3 from Stars Mill, but lost 2 out of 3 against Harris County. It's just how the cookie crumbled this year. But that Central Carroll, Stars Mill, Harris County, Northside, that was that's the group. And throw Jonesboro in there for football, but that group right there for baseball, I put them up against almost anyone. Man, what a juggernaut of a division. So can't wait for the playoffs to start next week, man. Great regular season for Coach Dimitri in Harris County. Great regular season for Coach Tracy Powell in Northside. And really, baseball in this area in general, Rick, you've been able to cover it and see a lot of the teams. You're able to see Glenwood, who we got ranked number 1. They got a playoff game here today at 1 o'clock. It's just been lights out. We literally have 6 teams that potentially could get hot and make a deep playoff run.
Yeah, it's incredible, the baseball talent in this area. I mean, you go back, the Little League days with the Russell County, with Phoenix City Little League and that whole group that ended up going to Russell County.
Right.
But you got to think, when they was in Little League, Shaw was doing their thing with Stephen Register and, of course, Edwin Jackson and those guys, Brandon Masters. They had all those teams. So, I mean, you look, and baseball in this area has just always been a hotbed. It's just so much talent going in. And when you could split it up, it's like it is now, where across the river in Phoenix City, you got Central really good, Glenwood's dominant, and you got all them schools in Northside and Harris County is just a few miles apart. And there's the top 2 programs in that in the 4A. You got to think they're top 10 programs, and they're just 20 miles apart.
Yeah.
And you still got Calvary right down the road from Northside, and they're putting out good great talent. We saw what they even did last night on a year that Calvary's kind of not been struggling, but it ain't been the year that they're used to.
Yeah.
They still could go out there and beat a team like Brookstone, and
Yeah.
Brookstone's the state champions, number 1 in this. So it's just crazy with all this talent all in this one area.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up because I had a lot of fun there last night. So Brookstone won game 1, and this is a best of 3 on Tuesday at Calvary. Calvary then responded and beat, I think, one of the top 3 pitchers in the entire area, Rick, and Chanu Woo Kim, winning that to 4-3. So now they got a rubber match tonight at 7 o'clock. So can't wait for that. But Rick, you're also wearing your Lions shirt. We're going to talk about the Lions after the break. We got a bunch we're going to be getting into. They got a massive game tonight. You can hear me and Rick Beach on the call. We got our pregame we do at 5. Game starts at 7. You'll be able to watch it on the Lions YouTube, Georgia Alabama Sports Live, Facebook. And so we can't wait for that. So, Rick, don't go anywhere. Everyone else that's listening, do not change the dial. Don't move. Don't scroll past Facebook. Scroll on Facebook. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back from break, me and Rick are going to talk about that massive game with the Columbus Lions right here on the SportsVisions Morning Show.
Making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is SportsVisions 92.1.
Too many motorists and workers are senselessly injured or killed in roadway work zones. Crashes and fatalities have spiked in Georgia due to speeding and distracted or impaired driving. The Georgia DOT is committed to keeping us safe by reminding you during Work Zone Safety Awareness Week of the importance of practicing safe driving. The loss of lives can be prevented. Ignore your phone and other distractions. Pay attention to the road. Let's all go home to our families safely.
Are you ready to make a difference in healthcare? Global Diagnostic Services is hiring. We're looking for compassionate and skilled registered nurses, licensed practical nurses, x-ray technicians, and ultrasound technicians to join our growing team. At Global Diagnostics, we offer competitive pay where you can thrive and advance your career. If you're passionate about patient care and want to be a part of a team that's dedicated to excellence, we want to hear from you. Whether you're looking for a full-time position or a flexible part-time opportunity in the state of Georgia, visit globaldiagnostic.net to apply today.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
This message is brought to you by the Armed Forces Vacation Club, a free membership travel hub for active duty military and veterans. The club provides a well-deserved escape during challenging times or post-deployments, or for cherished family moments. This exclusive travel club grants access to discounted 7-night resorts and savings on over 600,000 hotels, rental cars, and more. Discover the world for free at afbclub.com.
Hi, my name is Piper. I'm 7. I'll be 8 in November. This summer I got diabetes, but no one knew I had it. My mom thought I had the flu. Then I went to the hospital. It was scary, but I'm okay now. I wish people knew more about diabetes.
Every 23 seconds, another American gets diabetes. Stop diabetes before it starts. To learn more, contact the American Diabetes Association or download our free diabetes education programs at learningaboutdiabetes.org.
Good morning, everyone. Thrift Barringer here from the SportsVisions Morning Show on 92.1 FM. SportsVisions is the best way to listen to all things local, regional, and national. Me and DJ Jones gets you started every weekday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on SportsVisions 92.1 FM. And we always talk all the hottest takes and we give you all the insight because sports is the best time of year and we got so many great sporting events going on right now. It's a great time to be alive. And I got you an even better way to enjoy sports. Prize Picks. You can win up to $2,000 each day by downloading the app, doing more or less on player stats. How easy is that? That's it. More or less on player stats, and you can win up to $2,000 a day. And here's the kicker. You use promo code Tigers right now. They'll give you $50 on your first $5 lineup because of me. Promo code Tigers, $50 on your first $5 lineup. You can thank me later. It's Prize Picks. Download the app and run your game.
I love playing sports, especially for my school. And that's because school sports are special. It's where it's safe to fail. It's where we're taught resilience, where our fear becomes confidence. It's where we learn to get back up after every fall. School sports are where 7.8 million students go from I can't to I can.
This message presented by the GHSA and the Georgia Athletic Directors Association.
Some things in life just go together. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and an ice-cold domestic beer. Even better, a $3 domestic beer. You can have it every Thursday all season long as part of Thirsty Thursday at St. Elvis Park. Fans 21 and older can purchase them in the Third Base Beer Garden. And military members with valid ID get half off reserved seats for up to 4 guests. Join us for Thirsty Thursdays. Crack open a cold one and cheer on the Clingstones. Tickets available at clingstones.com.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the SportsVisions Morning Show. SportsVisions 92.1. Now back to the SportsVisions Morning Show. Here's Denver Broncos 1987 AFC champion DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
Hey man, let me tell you something, guy. I'm more proud of this young man. Guy, I watched him play.
Look like it's magic. I see nobody but you.
Welcome back to the SportsVisions Morning Show. It's Thrift Barringer. And on the line right now is Rick Beach here on SportsVisions 92.1 FM. Big Rick, we got a big game tonight. So last time me and you called a game, the Lions won again, and they hadn't lost in 3 years. Well, the very next week, they go on the road and play that same team in Carolina and played some uncharacteristic football, bunch of turnovers, was leading at halftime by 7, 20-13. Did not score a second half point. And Rick, remember in that game we did, they only scored 1 touchdown in that second half. So back-to-back weeks in the second half made a bunch of mistakes, and they ended up losing by 20 points. So they had to regroup this last month, and you've been at some of those press conferences. You've seen them. Coach Daniels likes the way the team's practicing. We still don't know the quarterback position. It's Espinoza, who was playing for Carolina the game we called. He is now on Columbus, and Marcus Brooks are the 2 options there. But Coach Daniels been keeping close to the vest. What's your thoughts as they head into a massive game against the only undefeated team left in the NAL in Beaumont tonight?
Yeah, they got to find a way to get it right at home. At home's been, what they say, 3 years. I haven't lost a game at home in 3 years.
Yep.
And, you go into this team now for the first time in a while. People have doubt. People have kind of questioning what you have on your roster. You already were having this quarterback issues going on. Like I said, that first half of the game against Carolina, everything was, business as normal. Everything just rocking and rolling. You get, a 19-0 lead at halftime.
Yep.
And then it just stalls out, and then that stall out lasts into the next week.
Rick, I think we lost you. I can't hear you right now. I don't know what just happened. Maybe log out and come back in. I don't know what just happened there, as he was making some great points. So I'm gonna see if we can't get that fixed here in just a second. And I'm gonna try to tell him, see if he can't log out and log back in, figure out what's going on with this phone, see if we can't get him back up here. But he's made mention with the Lions, big game here tonight with Beaumont, and they got to come out fast and they got to come out hard because this team does not play games. They went Beaumont on the road last week and beat Omaha, the Omaha Beef, who was right now, they've been ranked number 1 all year and the favorite to win in the NAL. They went and won 36-32 last week. So Beaumont comes in undefeated. They're also in the same division as Columbus. So they're going to have to win now, and then they play them on the road again. They need it. These are going to be some huge games so they can make it to the championship. So we'll see what's going to happen with those Columbus Lions. It's going to be a lot of fun figuring out tonight how it's going to go down. And as I may mention, it's military night tonight. So I'll be talking with Nathan Flurry, the GM, at 8 o'clock about that. And man, it's going to be a fantastic environment. I think we got Rick Beach back here in just a second. It's going to be a fantastic environment. Me and Rick are going to be there early. We got our pregame show. We'll be talking with president and owner Casey Smith. We'll also be talking with GM Nathan Flurry, head coach Damian Daniels, and a player as we preview and get you ready for what should be a great game. Kickoffs at 7, doors open at 6. Very affordable prices, and you definitely want to come to it. Rick, we can hear you now. What's up, man? I don't know what is going on. We cannot get Rick back in here. Rick, can you hear us? There you go.
Had a at-home studio table explosion, it seemed like, right there.
But go back to what you were saying, man, about how getting off to a hot start. This is going to be crucial for Columbus. And if they lose this game, they're going to be 2 games back, Beaumont, and they don't want to do that because they want to host that playoff game.
Yeah, home field advantage is so important in like every sport, especially when you have a good bit of travel like in this league. But you got to get the hot start. You got to get it. It's military appreciation. You're going to have a good crowd, always a supportive crowd. So you got to get that hot start. You got to get something going because, like I said, the doubt that creeps into people's mind, if you fall behind, it's that here we go again mentality that the fans seem to have. And you got to find a way to just get around that. So I think Coach Daniels have them jump out to a hot start. And we know that defense is going to be fine. Even the loss at Carolina, it was just turnovers, mostly on special teams. But, I mean, you got to just, tighten that up, and that affects the whole thing.
Exactly, man. And, you'll again be able to hear me and Rick tonight. 6:50, we'll have our, I won't say pregame because we got our pregame show. We're doing at 5. So we really just do a welcome in, if you will. I'll use it that way with me and Rick at about 6:50, 6:55, 7 o'clock kickoff. We cannot wait. Columbus Lions YouTube channel. And of course, you can hear it and watch it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. So we're going to see what's going to go down with those Lions. Again, we won't go too much into detail because I got Nathan Flurry coming up at 8. And then you can again hear me, Rick, dissect all of it with Casey and the rest of them on the pregame show at 5. But the last couple minutes, Rick, of this segment before we let you go, did want to talk about Nico Iamaleava, who is now going to UCLA. All right, there's some conflicting reports. Like from my guy Josh Pate says that he was basically having a holdout and saying, if I don't get $4 million, I won't play, and miss meetings. And when he started missing meetings, Tennessee says, all right, let's move on from this. then you got reports saying from Nico's camp, that is not true. I did not ask for $4 million. I want the offense predicated to my strengths, and I don't think that's happening there. So then he decided to go to a place that gave up 50 sacks, got no offensive line, and it's just, I'm sorry to say, they are a few years away from being relevant. And even with adding him, I don't think they're a championship contending team like Tennessee potentially could have been this year. Where side are you on with this? Where do you believe he asked for the $4 million? Do you believe it was Tennessee not predicating the offense? I think it's a little bit of both, to be frank with you, Rick. I think both of them messed up. Heupel, Urban Meyer came out and said, I don't know how they think they're going to win without a quarterback. Josh Heupel thinks that, hey, man, I've had a new starting quarterback last 3 years, and I've had one of the top offenses in the SEC the last 3 years. So I think it's more about system than QB. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about the whole situation, man.
Well, I mean, if Nico's camp was upset they ran the ball last year, they had Sampson, one of the top running backs in the SEC.
In the country.
And maybe if Nico was hitting some of those guys he had wide open running down the field, they wouldn't have to run the ball as much. But, I mean, I'm not going to take anything out of his camp, without a grain of salt, because you got to look at who's saying it and what they've already done. I mean, there's no way that you could say I'm leaving because the offensive play don't help my quarterback. He needs to go somewhere he can throw it. When you're at a Josh Heupel ran offense, who would throw it all over the place, ask Hendon Hooker that. Yeah. And look what he did for Hendon Hooker, who got drafted.
Look what he did for Joe Milton. Joe Milton got him a first-round draft pick, man.
Yeah, and so you can't say it's the offense. I think they're just grasping at straws right now because they know they made a huge mistake. I do believe it was the Carson Beck rumor that he got $4 million, and they believe, well, we're worth just as much, and you're not near the quarterback Carson Beck is. And also at the same time, we don't know how good Carson Beck is because how's he going to do without all these 5-star offensive linemen and people around him that he had at Georgia? And so how's Nico going to look when he don't have what he had at Tennessee out there on the West Coast?
Yeah, and that's where, he thinks he's going to be successful at UCLA, who's behind the 8 ball and then in a tough conference. Good luck to him. But I also think, too, Rick, with this, I'm not saying they're colluding because I kind of hinted at it yesterday. I was like, are the coaches in collusion with one another being like, hey, don't sign him because we got to make an example of these guys because they can't sign a contract and then turn around and leave. But here's the thing. They can until something changes. Now, if you think blackballing a player is going to work, I think that's going to come back and slap the coaches in the face, Rick. I don't think that's the best idea. But what they need is a commissioner. They need somebody, Rick, that is going to put their foot down and kind of put the clamps on the nonsense, if you will, that is happening with the NIL, with the transfer portal. Look at Chad Baker-Bazaar. He is just given every opportunity at Auburn. Remember last year when they lost in that first round, he got ejected like 3 minutes into the game. All right. Auburn still stuck with him, gave him his money, allowed him to showcase his talent this year. He still has 1 year of eligibility left. Auburn signed him to an NIL before the season ended, and he's in the transfer portal now because he wants more money. Again, until we have contracts being signed and that we have to make them abide by those contracts, players are going to keep doing this until we stop it. What do you think the option is to be able to fix this, Rick?
Yeah, I think first it starts at the top. You got to have, like you said, some kind of commissioner over it. You got to have some kind of schedule. You look at the NFL, and you just have to copy what they got. The playoffs need to start a lot sooner, get the season over with. Then you have your free agent or your transfer portal window. And that would really be, you can't have one in the fall, one in the spring. You got to have some kind of guidelines, and there's just nothing. And, if the coaches are colluding, my theory is if you're good enough, they're not going to do that. They're not going to be able to pull that off, with a player that they really felt that would help. If it was Cam Newton that pulled something like that off, or Joe Burrow back at LSU, I don't think the coach would say, okay, we'll just let him go everywhere and just, let him burn somewhere. And I think with Nico, it's like he's not worth what they're offering him. So we're just going to let him go wherever he wants to go.
Now that we look at everything else that's happening within the SEC, I know it's April, man, but Do you say Georgia's the favorite? Is it Texas with Arch Manning being a guy that is we know that can play the quarterback position? Who would be that top team in your opinion? Because Alabama's looking for a QB. Auburn obviously has not been able to get over the hump and win 8 games since 2019. You tell me right now, who would be the team you're looking at outside of Georgia in the SEC?
I think Texas would have to be that team. You see they have a quarterback, at least a name value that, some teams don't have in the SEC or most teams don't have because of the transfer portal. It's so just wishy-washy on these rosters. You really don't know who's got what. And even right now, you don't know who's going to do what with the window open. So you're just hoping, come August, right before the season, you look at your roster and like what you got. But right now, I would say Texas have to be that team. They seem to have a good recruiting class coming in. They held together pretty good from the portals and see if they can finally, finish what they almost did last year with that Georgia team. Wasn't, I don't think anybody thought that team was as special as what Georgia's had the last 3 years before, but they found a way to win the SEC championship.
Yeah, and Arch Manning's the type that I would pay $4 million for because that's a guy that could literally change the trajectory of your program. Again, going back to Nico, kind of put a wrap on it. Ohio State, he looked terrible. Now, I get Ohio State's defense was loaded. They played incredible the entire playoff run. They shellacked Oregon. They shellacked, they didn't really shellack Texas, but they did Notre Dame for a majority of it until those last, 10 minutes. The defense was great, but Nico didn't help himself either. I mean, he was overthrowing. He looked rattled in the pocket. And to be frank with you, I didn't watch him last year and was blown away saying, man, that guy's a Heisman. What I saw was a guy that could help lead a team that has good talent around him to a championship. Can he be the focal point of an offense and be the best player? I don't know, Rick, because I didn't see that last year, and I don't know why he thought that was going to be the case. Maybe he worked on his offseason, but going to UCLA, I feel like he doesn't have the Cam Newton, like you made mention, ability to put on the Superman cape and lead a 6-6, 7-5 team to a national championship. That's a guy I'd get $4 million to.
Right.
That's not Nico. So it really is. Somebody's giving him bad advice, and I feel like a lot of these athletes are getting it. I saw someone say this, man. I'm just going to go to basketball, but you can correlate it to football too. There's guys right now in college basketball that average about 5 points a game, Rick, and are asking for $600,000. They wouldn't even sniff the NBA, but they're asking for $600,000 because of NIL in college basketball. That's crazy to me, man. These guys are role players, and they're getting paid that type of money. They don't even get paid that much in the NBA until they prove their worth after 3 or 4 years. They're playing a season in college basketball or college football asking for this type of money. I get the money's out there. Trust me. I get it. It needs to be spent. But sometimes I look back on it and like, man, I don't think you're worth that much money. Come on now. You agree with that, Rick?
Oh, absolutely. I think a lot of it's the bad advice from this. But you're not having, professional agents. You're not having these guys that do this for a living.
Right.
You're having family friends or somebody that knows somebody that's coming in there. Or, Nico's case, they say, is just his dad. And if the thing is it's not just the experience you have as being an agent. It's being able to take a step back. When it's your son, of course you think he's the best quarterback in the country. Of course you think he's the best point guard in the country that's just not getting on the field or getting on the court.
Right.
But sometimes when you can have somebody that takes a step back and say, well, this is the market value for this player. He's, these numbers that he's putting up. But without that, you just think, hey, we're worth, think back to the COVID year with Jamie Newman got that advice to sit out at Georgia to help his NFL stock. And dude, nothing. Didn't get drafted, didn't do anything.
At all.
So, but, I mean, he got advice from somebody that he felt like that was good enough advice. Hey, I can just sit out this whole year. I'll be a, early round draft pick and making some money. Didn't work out. Bad advice. It's just one of them things. And, say like with basketball, same thing. You're sitting on the bench, you're getting, just a little bit of playing time, but somebody's in your ear. Hey, you're worth just as much as this guy. You're worth just as much as that guy. All you got to do is get a chance. And they believe it, then they go ask for it, and they end up screwing themselves out of a good deal.
Rick, a few more minutes. I got a fun segment we're gonna do at the end. It's called gaslighting. But I promise you're gonna love this segment that me and Rick have been talking about for quite some time. But before gaslighting, I did want to talk about the Harris County players that won at the SportsVisions Female Awards Luncheon yesterday. Rick, maybe you can talk about them. Kendall Robinson, who was the I know you can talk about what sports she played at. She was the Aflac Student Athlete of the Year and also the MVP for Harris County. And Mia Balin was also award winner. And then what can we say about Brandon Jenkins? He was able to win the Ben Finley Coach of the Year, Rick, and was able to win a state championship at another school the first year he's there after winning back-to-back at Northside last year. Talk about Kendall and Mia and then and Brandon too, all getting awards and having fantastic years this year.
Yeah, Kendall, two-sport athlete. She plays basketball and flag football. She's 4.2 GPA, I believe. Maybe even better than that, but she's over a 4 GPA. Great kid. She has, the effort. You see her out there. She's a role player more on the basketball team. On the flag football, she played a little bit of wide out and played safety. Phenomenal at both. She's just a great kid. She always shows up to practice. She always helps the younger kids learning through the process. She's a referee for flag football during that time of year. She's always helping those kids come up. So she's a great kid. Mia, going to Old Dominion D1 school as a swimmer. She finished second in the state back-to-back seasons. Just an incredible run that, Harris County's never had, a swimmer place that high at state. She come just short from winning the state championship over at Georgia Tech the last two seasons. So you see her going to Old Dominion. I think Coach Jenkins, you just throw his resume on the table and it speaks for itself on Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Well, I think they went 34-3 this year.
Jesus.
And just dominated the whole season. And hey, I don't think it's no secret. They got a lot of girls coming back, and they're going to be pretty good this year considering you got your all-state pitcher. And I think they got two pitchers. In softball, you just use one, really.
Yeah.
But they got Riley Huckabee coming back, who started and dominated through the playoffs. But they got a 1 year behind her. She'll be a junior this year, Chloe Wolfenbarger. Look for her. She's a big name coming up through there pitching-wise. And he's going to be on a good little run if he keeps this going.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And listen, for all those out there, I can't consider Rick Beach part of a Braves expert. We're not talking Braves right now until they start winning, until it starts mattering and deeper in the season. There's no point sitting there panicking and talking about things like that because guess what?
Yeah.
Still got over 140 games. But Rick, I did want one more thing before we get to gaslighting was Blair Harrison. He is now taking the job at Smith Station. You've known Blair for some time, was a winningest coach in Brookstone, AD over at Shaw, now at Smith Station. The reason I bring this up, man, because I said it on the broadcast multiple times, and I said it to Blair and many other people, and they agreed with me, and I want to get your thoughts on this because you've been at covering Harris County for a while. Before Tommy got there, they had been a good football program, but just never really taken that next step. And really athletics as a whole, Harris County's always been competitive, but what we've seen these last couple of years, and I give credit to Minnie Johnson for making the hires she made, but she has taken Harris County, a sleeping giant, to a giant. We had the winningest season last year in football. Softball just won a state championship. Volleyball had an incredible year. We know about Stephanie Ramsey Dunn in basketball. They make Final Fours and region championships every single season. She's got a program that doesn't rebuild, it reloads. Flag football that you're a part of. Zach Moss, he's made deep playoff runs as well, and that's one of the top programs in the state. I think Smith Station has the capability to do that because they're like Harris County. It's the only high school there. They are 7A. They got more students than anyone out of the 16 schools that we cover, man. They just got to get the right person there. So they hired a new AD in Brian Easton, and they got Blair Harrison. Do you think, from being in this area for a while, do you think Smith Station has the same ability Harris County does? If they get the right support, put the resources towards it, they can turn their athletics, specifically football, and at least competitive. And I know that's what they're craving over there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it just takes the whole, everybody holding the rope. It takes the whole, not just the football staff, not just football players. It takes the whole, and if you go back to like with Harris County, it's not just what football does. It's the athletic staff, the administration, the school administration, and the county, the school, even from the school board all the way to Coach Watson, is everybody's pulling in the same direction. Everybody's got the same, mindset. They communicate often, and it bleeds to other sports are like that. It's not just with Coach Watson, Coach Dimitri, Coach. They can all go to these different administrations and get help if they need it. And, of course, with MJ, she's always there willing to help these people and put them in the best position to succeed. And that's just, it's contagious. Winning is one of those things where if this program is winning, you don't want to be the one that's not. And that just keeps going. I absolutely think Smith Station could get there if they could all pull in the same direction.
Wrestling, another thing that's been successful at Harris County, and also obviously baseball and Tony Dimitri, because if he won 21 games this year with a bunch of freshmen and sophomore, what do you think he's going to do when they turn to juniors and seniors, man? So Harris County, I've been so impressed. We had Mindy on last week. She also hired Lucy Ellison, a female, to coach the boys. I mean, you're doing some game-changing stuff out in Harris County, and I think many people are realizing and probably going to end up calling Mindy. I wouldn't be surprised some major high schools and stuff because they see what she's doing. I know she loves it here. I'm not saying she'll ever leave, but she's definitely getting recognized for her hard work and what she's built over at Harris County. All right, Rick, I did want an opportunity to do gaslighting. Okay. So gaslighting, everybody know what that is. You're hyping someone up when you really don't mean it. It's a lot of fun. If you're not on the end of being gaslighted, obviously if you're being gaslighted, it kind of upsets you. So he's executive producer of content as Rick Beach. So he is a big part of Georgia, Alabama Sports Live and what we do. And me and him, kudzu, partnering to bring you Harris County. But he does more things also behind the scenes with Georgia, Alabama Sports Live and helping us grow our company. And, man, I'm just trying to some of your favorite moments this year, dude. And it can be funny. It can be really awesome to see and with a lot of emotion with the games. It can be announcers doing things. I'll start first. I got a couple, man. For one, me getting a concussion at a basketball game. That'll never be let down, dude. What the biggest part of that was is that I'm walking around Calvary with my chest out. When we go to these games, Rick, and you know this, everybody's stopping you. Everybody wants to talk to you. And I'm not saying me and Rick think we're super famous. It's just we build a relationship with these schools and people at these schools. So obviously we're going to talk to them. Parents are going to want to say, hey. And so, I go and shake hands, kiss babies, and I'm walking my way back up the bleachers to Toygar, who was producing for me that day. And as I'm trying to step over one of the teams that Calvary was playing at the time, Sly County, as I'm trying to step over them, above my head was the camera that follows the ball. What do they call it? The Pixelot. But it is in a really hard metal casing around it. And Rick, I hit that so hard that the sheriff who was on the other end of the gymnasium, and again, there are games going on. So there's a game going on and people still heard it. Everybody had to turn around. And of course, with my ego, I just played it off and then end up having to go to the hospital the next day, mild concussion. So that's definitely up there with me. I could not believe it. And then it's like it humbled me a little bit. What about you, Rick? What are some things that kind of stood out this year, man? As we're coming to an end, I can't believe it's coming to an end this year.
Yeah, that's what's unreal is just that the school season's wrapping up, school year's wrapping up, spring season's wrapping up in these sports. And you think back to all the football. And I think all the moments that I remember most ain't really, one isolated. It's just going to some of these, especially in football season, having the fortune to do the road games and some of them road trips that me and Brandon Schwabel and Bain would take and going to some of these schools and you go into where they play football and you're like, holy crap. We went to one school and swear it looked like somehow the longest yard, the concrete walls around the stadium, the barbed wire on top of it, and you walking in there, and it was a great game. All the people were great, but just the optics of the stadium, and we're walking like, are we sure this is where we're playing at? So it was pretty fun to go see stuff like that. But I think on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, watching a lot of the content that we're putting out there, all these games, and I think some of it's just the play-by-play on people and. We pick at Richards a lot in his excitement level.
I love it. He's Gus Johnson. It don't matter if it's 18-3, Rick, or if it's 2-1. You're getting the same call for both of them.
That's the thing. And I call him Gil Johnson because he's like the little brother because he wants to yell. It's the third inning of a 14-0 game.
Right.
He's wanting to yell. Even the other night, y'all had the watch party for the WNBA draft. And when she gets drafted, he goes, "Wow, unbelievable." It's believable. You're at a draft party. She's going to get drafted. It's not a shock that she gets drafted, but he just programmed to say, "Wow, unbelievable,"
Right.
for everything. And it's just funny to watch it. It's fun to pick on him about it. And I think you have to in this thing because we do so many games.
Come on now.
You're going to misstep. You're going to, mistalk. You're going to mispronounce stuff. You're going to get your words mixed up. And it's live. That's the other thing people don't get. We don't have time to think about, every single thing because of it. And we might say a point when we mean a run. We might say a half when we mean a period. And we do it. And people, hey, we're doing multiple sports for a lot. There's a lot of games I don't even know how many baseball games we did at Harris County. I know I filled a scorebook up and I've never done that before. So it's just an incredible year.
It is, man. And I like we said, we love making fun of each other.
Oh, yeah.
We have a lot of fun in doing it. And if you want to see the epitome of Georgia Alabama Sports Live and the clown himself, Chris Gates, he made a Muppet. So this is thing that everybody's apparently doing is taking a picture, putting it on Chat GPT and asking AI to turn those people in the picture to Muppets. And there's a picture of me and Rich. And if you know me and Rich, for one, I'm always talking and smiling. And if Rich is not talking, he looks like he's mean mugging. So it looked like Bert and Ernie. I look like I'm Ernie, and I don't know if you've seen that. Well, Ernie is talking away, and Bert's just sitting there like, holy smokes, Ernie, please be quiet. That is exactly what it looked like. And then my next guest after this break, Rick Beach sent me yesterday, me and Jack Patterson. Rex Castillo sent me a picture of me and Jack Patterson when we were on stage, and I had a clown nose. Now, I know Rex thinks I'm a clown, but did he actually have to have me a clown nose as a Muppet? But, hey, that's something that we're going to start doing on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, gaslighting, making fun of some of the calls that week. Everyone's going to have an opportunity to get made fun of, trust me, and it just shows you the lightheartedness and that, guys, we love what we do, and DJ says this all the time, but we don't take ourselves super seriously. We know in the end we are just talking and having fun with sports, and that's why we do what we do, and that's why we are going to make mistakes. Stuff happens. We're going to mispronounce a name. Nothing is intentional, and we love what we do. Rick, thank you so much for coming on this morning, and look forward to seeing you later this afternoon. You can see me and Rick with the Columbus Lions pregame at 5, game time at 7. Appreciate it, Big Rick. Oh,
hey, appreciate it. Go Jordan tonight. Big game for them against Shaw.
Yeah,
So.
they may get, if they win, they get to host a playoff game. And yours truly, Rick Beach, who's an alumni of Jordan, play baseball there. He'll be on the call for sure for that. Rick, thank you so much, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
Great, had a lot of fun with Rick Beach. I call him Big Rick. And we're going to take a break. When we come back from break, I'm going to have on the man himself. His name is Rex Castillo. We're going to talk a little bit of this, a little bit of that, NBA playoffs specifically. It's the SportsVisions Morning Show. We got Michael Jackson bringing us to and from breaks. Come on. Wake up, everyone. It's Friday, baby. Be right back after this.
My life will never be the same. Girl, you came and changed the way I walk, the way I don't.
This is the SportsVisions Morning Show. Let's do this. SportsVisions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. Georgia businesses are feeling the pressure from ongoing global tariffs, but the state's Chamber of Commerce is urging for businesses to remain calm, recommending foreign trade zones and alternate supply routes to ease the impact on key industries like manufacturing, technology, and agriculture. Chris Clark, the CEO and president of the Georgia Chamber of Commerce, explains.
We're encouraging Georgia businesses that are importing and exporting to use the Georgia foreign trade zones. This helps you delay duties, look at other factors within the trade supply chain. It's one of the affiliates of the Georgia Chamber. We're also encouraging and seeing businesses looking at different trade routes instead of bringing in goods through other ports to use the Georgia ports.
Meanwhile, federal job cuts are hitting Columbus with 6 health department employees laid off after a major COVID grant was pulled. Local officials say services will continue for now, but more cuts could be ahead. In Alabama, lawmakers are debating a bill that would let the state take over struggling police departments in high-crime cities. But while some see it as a fix, others say deeper issues must be addressed beyond leadership changes. From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great Friday, everybody.
Good Friday morning. We are off to a mild start with these temperatures near 50, and we are under clear skies this morning. It's going to be another beautiful hot spring day as these temperatures reach the upper 80s later this afternoon and tonight. Clear and mild. Those lows falling in the upper 50s. Watch out for some light patchy fog by your Saturday morning. And we're going to be talking about a hot Easter weekend with increasing clouds. Those rain chances slowly increase next week.
Time for another name for Nissan. Kenneth Gray of Hamilton. Again, that name is Kenneth Gray of Hamilton.
If that's you, text headquarter to 855-706-2946 to be put on the short list for a chance to win a brand new Nissan. From Headquarter Nissan and SportsVisions 92.1.
This hour of the SportsVisions Morning Show is brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services.
Aflac, helping people for more than 6 decades focus on recovery and not financial stress. Check out their policies at aflac.com. Knowledge, wisdom, excellence, service are the core values of Morehouse School of Medicine. To learn more, go to msm.edu.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Then here's a great idea. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Yes, one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program and we'll come and remove your car for free. Fast, free towing, and 24-hour response. You can donate most cars, trucks, or SUVs in most conditions. The proceeds raised goes to help active military, veterans, and their families, and you get a tax deduction. All you need to do is make this free call. Get rid of that old car and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now and book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Donation Program now. Donate your car and help veterans and their families. Operators are standing by. Here's the number.
800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. 800-890-7021. That's 800-890-7021.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Covering local and national sports. This is the SportsVisions Morning Show on SportsVisions 92.1. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Green Bay Packers. Here's DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer. You're listening to the SportsVisions Morning Show. SportsVisions 92.1.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Visions Morning Show. It's Thrift Barringer, DJ Jones. He's heading to Tampa Bay, and he'll be back in studio on Monday. But now joining me is the man himself. His name is Rex. Big Rex, what's up, man?
Hey, good to see you, my friend. Holding it down kind of on a marathon, my friend, but you're doing a great job. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. It's been so this week alone, dude, and I know you know the feeling of being in the position that you're in as well. On Monday, had Sports Vision Morning Show that turned into other things like going to a signing day that turned into doing a radio show to go to FCA banquet to then be at that WNBA draft party till 11 o'clock Tuesday, all day at the Clingstones doing a live hit plus the morning show. Then Wednesday, had to go to do 3 coaches shows, a sit down with Blair Harrison, Lions press conference inside the GIAA, get home late that night. Last night had to go call Brookstone game, do the Sports Visions lunch and obviously the morning show. And it's just like, it keeps adding up and adding up and adding up. But hey, man, I'll go grab me. I don't drink coffee. I guess some caffeinated tea, and we just got to keep smiling, dude. But that's the world we live in. If you love what you do, the grind, as Josh Pate says, is a blessing. And I know you're blessed to be back, dude. But how's it been, man? I know you enjoyed. We talked yesterday or the day before. You enjoyed your time in Destin, but I know you're glad to be back in the saddle, aren't you?
100%. I'm always happy to be back in the saddle. And, just as you mentioned, the grind is definitely a blessing. Also, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Thrift Barringer hibernates for about 2 weeks after the insane week that was done. But you guys are doing an incredible job. Big shout out to the Sports Visions Female Awards Luncheon. A decade of doing that, honoring the incredible young women that we have. Was able to sit, just find me a spot and sat down with, her name escapes me right now, but a young lady, a Harris County swimmer who signed with Old Dominion.
Yeah, Mila Balin. Yep.
Mia is a phenomenal young lady, and her coach and some of her coaches were there, and it was outstanding to see. Just like they were saying, like, you do, Rex, we watch you, we appreciate what you do at News 3. Like, hey, look, I appreciate that, but what Mia's doing is better than anything I could ever do, because that is outstanding. Scholarships in those Olympic sports, it's not like football where they do have a plethora of scholarships to give. So to earn that kind of scholarship in a sport like swimming is unbelievable. So big shout out to her, but a big shout out to all the women there. I thought, that Tawana was a phenomenal speaker, had a lot of great but yeah, no, you're right. To be back in the saddle, kind of in the grind and in the momentum of it all. And as married life now, which is still kind of crazy to say, but
you're married man, Rex.
Fully married man, y'all. It's there. Official. Even the courthouse got the paperwork. The wedding itself was outstanding. It was a lot of stress. If you've ever planned a wedding, it's a lot on your plate. But big shout out to Kia Patterson, the wonderful wife of Jack Patterson, which we all know is his better half. And she did a phenomenal job coordinating everything. Jack was one of my groomsmen. He, wouldn't have asked for a better groomsman to someone who's helped me along this journey here in Columbus. Of course, one Thrift Barringer in the crowd as well. Thank you. You and your girlfriend looked outstanding. You tried to keep up as best you could, but we all fall short of that, as I'm learning with my wife at this point. But to be back in the grind when it comes to WRBL news and just the local community and everything like that, it's great to be back in kind of the momentum of everything. And even for me, I feel like I'm drinking water out of a fire hose for a little bit, but already got some stories lined up, both sports and non-sports related, sports tangent wise. I kind of keep my pulse on what's going on, not nearly as in depth as I used to. But gosh, one thing that comes to mind as I came back, the last day of my honeymoon was the Clingstones home opener. Decided to stay at home because, again, of all the travel in Destin. But seeing Kimbrel, that crazy stance back on the mountain, lighting it up right now. Again, AA ball, so we need him to kind of ramp up the velocity a little bit more to get back up to the show. But, man, it's just really cool to see Craig Kimbrel in a Clingstones jersey doing his thing at Synovus Park.
I enjoyed it too, man. And obviously I was there Tuesday night and the fans went absolutely bonkers. But yeah, Rex, I love the NBA, and we're going to spend probably the good 15 minutes of your the majority of your segment, Rex, talking NBA playoffs. Okay, so the playing game is tonight. The only reason I bring it up is because the Hawks are in it. And they are taking on the Heat. Now, the Bulls were one of the hottest teams heading into the play-in game, regardless of either conference, and they got shellacked by the Heat. And don't even get me started on the Hawks, who Trae Young gets ejected for showing up the referee, if you will. And God, don't get me started on referees. I don't want to go down that tangent, but listen, Orlando did then put up 120 points on you, in which they sometimes lack ineptitude. They have ineptitude on offense. That's a sad showing for the Hawks. So they need to come out strong, and I would not be shocked if they lose tonight at home to the Miami Heat. So outside of the play-in game that I really don't care about, I think Memphis beats Dallas. But either way, whoever wins these games, they're both going to get smoked against Cleveland and OKC. So let's talk about the series that actually matter. And I want to first start with Houston. Now, we talked a little bit about this last time you were on, but I want to go in more detail now. I said this, and I hope I don't offend you, Rex, but I said if I'm Golden State, I would rather play Houston than the Lakers in this regard, that in the end, veteran experience and having Luka and LeBron, for one, the NBA doesn't want that right now. They'd rather have that in a later round. And for two, if you're Golden State, I think you would rather take on the young and experienced team early than you would later on, okay? So I think if they would have beat the Lakers, do you want to play a Houston team that probably would win a first-round matchup, building that confidence with young guys? I think if you're going to catch them now early. I love Houston. They got a ton of young, great talent. Do you feel like because of the Jimmy Curry takeover part, you don't have someone that maybe can match them? What's your thought on this series, dude?
So you brought it up perfectly, is that like the Bulls were the hottest team, one of the hottest teams heading into the postseason. And then just Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero were like, yeah, we've done this before. Welcome. Congratulations on what you did during the regular season, but this is different. And I think that's the biggest thing that Houston has to face now. Playoff Jimmy is a different kind of monster. He is absolutely the muscle that the Warriors needed to do all the little things that Curry that's not necessarily in his game. You need a guy to get those grimy points, to get the and ones, to do the defensive assignments, and then facilitate the offense in a way that Draymond Green does to a certain level. Dre is a great play runner. But again, one of those things that, like, if you're asking Draymond Green to get a bucket on his own, it's a really tough ask.
Right.
So now you have Steph Curry, which what he can do, catch and release, maybe some ISO stuff at the top of the key where he can do his thing. That's what playoff Jimmy is. And you didn't offend me because it's 100% true. The Rockets are great right now, and they're number 2. We have home court advantage, sure, but you don't know what you don't know. I love Jalen Green. I love Şengün. I love Amen Thompson, what they're doing. A great core that they're building around, and a great opportunity to go far. Jabbar Smith Jr. is showing out, but you don't know what you don't know. Jimmy and Steph have been in these incredible game 7s that talk about the pressure of the world there. It's gonna pay off when it comes to these long-term matchups, and then you can take Houston into those deep waters. I really wouldn't be surprised, Thrift, if we go to 6 games here. I think Houston needs to stretch it out, or no, Houston needs to end this series as quickly as possible. Gentlemen sweep's not going to happen, but you have to finish. You cannot let opportunities slip, especially in series like this and a team like that, because again, we've seen Steph hit dagger after dagger after dagger in these big playoff games. And then in the other thing, you could be up by 10 with 1:30 to go. Jimmy's going to do something crazy, and you're all of a sudden only up by 2. The pressure cooker's there. Steph Curry's going to hit a 3. Another team, though, that is really interesting to me is Dallas. I really appreciate that, like, look, again, we know what's happening with Nico and the ownership there. You are showing ineptitude, walking. And as a Houston native, I love laughing at Dallas.
Right.
But here's the thing, like, y'all remember that when Clay is 100%, it's still Clay bleeping Thompson. That's the problem. And the thing is, and I'm talking capital I, capital F, if Anthony Davis is ever healthy, along with what Clay is doing, they have a shot to at least win 1 or 2 games in a series. I agree with you, though. They're not going anywhere. Back to the Hawks, though. Is it time to finally reset is what I'm wondering. Trey is doing everything he can. And if he played all 82 games, I was talking about this in the office. If he plays all 82 games in Madison Square Garden, you're probably going 73-9. But like, this team was built around him. We had Bogey there. You had all these great. Now you're getting great assets back, but I don't know if Trey's going to be the guy to lead you to his championship. So it's going to be interesting because Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, you're playing with house money. Like, we literally have nothing to lose here. By God, we're in the playoffs without Jimmy and that whole drama. like Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo are stepping up and saying, this is our team now. This is what we can do. For Trey, like, okay, we've ended the chapter there. And Ricochet, like, who knows we don't know what he can do in these kind of situations. But Trey, it's at to a point where, like, you're looking back and like, thank you for the honeymoon phase, I think, is definitely over. But I ask you, like, do we reset?
Yeah, and that's where it's a good question, man. And I kept saying over and over again, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, and Zachary Ricochet, they're all 23 years or younger. Dyson Daniels is going to be all defense. Jalen Johnson was putting up a double-double this year, and Ricochet looks like a good first-round pick. Is Trae Young the option with a bunch of great wings? You go out and find another point guard that may be better than him. Maybe for Trae, this is a better option, having wings that can help him out with his defensive inefficiencies, and maybe could turn the Hawks into at least a top 4 seed. That's all you're asking for in the East. But looking at the East and West right now, Rex.
Yeah.
This is my conference finals and finals. I want you to give me yours.
Gotcha.
In the East, I wanted Boston, New York. That's the conference final I wanted. We're not getting that. That's going to be the Eastern semifinals. I don't think anyone in the East is going to match up to, if everyone's playing at their A level, Boston's a step above everyone else. So I got Boston in there. And then this is going to be a shocker. I honestly think now with Dame coming back, I think Milwaukee can take down Indiana and maybe upset Cleveland. I'm not ready to say that yet, but the only reason I'm leaning towards that, because Giannis is a guy that can take over a playoff. 100% can. He can dominate on both ends. And Doc Rivers, he can't catch a break. Hadn't made a conference final since 2012. My goodness. I'm going to say Milwaukee and Boston. I would love to see Giannis. Just not been a big fan of Cleveland. Not saying they're not great season, 64-18. I just not a believer they're going to be a championship team. But I got Boston in the NBA Finals. On the Western side, I have Golden State. Not Golden State. The Lakers taking on the number 4 seed. Listen to this. I got Clippers beating OKC. I think the Clippers and the way Kawhi is playing and his athletic ability, he looks like prime Kawhi, or at least Kawhi that can take over a game. If they can get past a Denver team that just fired their coach, which I think they can, and Zubac, who is their center, who averaged 18 and 10, is a guy that can at least, he's not going to stop, but at least try to keep up with a little bit better than any other center, Nikola Jokic. I like the piece around Clippers. And Clippers OKC, same thing. I think OKC needs someone else that can take over game with Shea. I love Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren. These are great players. You need a guy that can go get you a bucket and take over in the biggest moments. I don't know if Jalen's ready for that this year, especially if he's going to have to go against Kawhi. I'm going to lean more towards Kawhi and his experience. Clippers, Lakers, Boston, Milwaukee. And then you got Lakers, Golden State in that second round. The NBA with ratings is going to be literally smiling ear to ear. And who wouldn't want Lakers in Boston in the finals? Like, come on, man. Luka, LeBron, LA, and Boston. That's what the NBA wants. Give me yours right now, Rex, as we start the playoffs. We'll come back and rehash over it later on. Who do you got?
You know what? I really like a lot of what you said outside of Milwaukee, because my concern about Milwaukee is their depth. Again, it's outside of Dame and Giannis. If Giannis goes on this run and he goes on Greek God mode and just destroys his way through the playoffs, it'll be one of the greatest performances we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And first of all, shout out to Dame Lillard. Just honestly, with the blood clot, that's a
crazy
situation. Thank goodness he's okay, and thank goodness he's in a situation where he could actually advance in the playoffs. I think, Dame Dollar is one of the greatest players we've seen, and he's just been in purgatory in Portland. He did everything he could to make Portland relevant, but just get through the Western Conference is insane. I would love to see Dame in an NBA Finals before his career ends. I just don't think it's with this version of Milwaukee. I like your picks with Boston, and I like Cleveland, but I see your point, is that they have killers, but they have regular season killers. Are they postseason killers? That's the thing. I have to agree with you, though, that Boston, when everyone's clicking, they can drop 150 on you easy. And it'll be done by 3 guys or 4 guys scoring 40 points. It's really crazy, the depth. Jason Tatum, I don't know why we're disrespecting the man, but also disrespecting it in a certain context. He's one of my favorite players to watch right now. I really, really am interested to see what Minnesota is going to do, because I think if Anthony Edwards can figure it out,
okay,
that he's an old school kind of one-on-one killer. But the thing is, he needs to figure out how to use the rest of his team.
Yeah.
And Rudy Gobert is not the answer. I'm sorry for all you Rudy Gobert fans out there, but he's a defensive like MVP who disappears in the most important times. Just me. But I really like your Clippers take. It's a matter of, can Kawhi stay healthy? And I would love to see what SGA versus healthy Kawhi Leonard, or at least on the court, will do. Because SGA can drop 50 on you, right?
100%.
Smoothest. If there is such a thing as a quiet 50, it's from SGA, because the man is electric, box office on the court. But Kawhi, if he can turn into that defensive, the claw shutdown guy, that's a matchup we want to see. Also, salty Rockets fan, if you're depending on James Harden to show up in big moments, it's not going to happen.
There we go.
But so ultimately though, I think OKC can do it.
Okay.
I think Houston's going to stumble. I really do. It's just the lack of experience. Unless Fred VanVleet turns into the MVP, MVP, I don't know, something like that. Dylan Brooks is probably going to do some rough stuff, and we'll see what happens there. He's going to get underneath somebody's skin, and I think
Jimmy and him are going to fight and come to blows. Guaranteed.
Completely, and then Draymond Green's going to step in as well. But I like Dylan Brooks in that fight. So ultimately, the NBA Finals, I wouldn't be surprised if it was LA Boston. And you know what? I'll go with Boston representing the East, and I think OKC can push through.
And listen, most people that are experts, Rex, are with you. They think OKC, they won 68 games this year, man. They were dominant. They believe the same thing you do.
But it's one of those things that, like, playoff Luka is also a problem, y'all.
You saw what he did last year with Dallas, and he didn't even have LeBron.
Right. And I think LeBron is finally getting this freedom that he needs desperately at this stage in his career, because Luka also, how stupid has the conversation looked like? I don't know if Luka and LeBron can work together. Guys, shut up. Like, they're all players. They're going to figure it out. Jokic, though, I see what's happening with Zubac and how great he has been. And again, I think he's playing above his pay grade at this point. Like, Zubac has been absolutely phenomenal as that option for the Clippers. Jokic is going to be a guy who shows up in the playoffs, and he'll have these games where he drops 30, 20, and 15. It's going to be crazy. Is it sustainable without Mike Malone? Which I don't get firing your head coach the week before the playoffs. I just, what?
Yeah.
But we've also seen dumber things, Dallas, happen in the NBA front offices. So I will go OKC, Boston in 6.
Boston back-to-back. Right.
First time, and Larry Bird never did that. And Pierce KG never did that.
No.
Now, this is dependent if Jaylen Brown's knee is okay.
Right.
I think it's a clear championship with Jaylen Brown, because Kristaps has been 50-50.
50-50.
But I think this is an opportunity for Tatum to show, yes, I didn't play in the Olympics, but look at what I'm about to do. Now, my
sleeper.
My sleeper, I think Minnesota goes further than everybody expects. I could see Minnesota in the conference finals. And that's just because Ant-Man may go off. And this guy, man, he reminds me of an angry Kobe Bryant when he played. Like, take no prisoners, prime Mamba mentality. The thing, though, is prime Mamba mentality outside of the teamwork, like, it will win you. It will get you to a game 7. But I go back to that series with Phoenix with Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant when he had Shmush Parker as his starting point guard.
Kwame Brown.
Oh my Lord, y'all! When I say my head was through a wall, but they just couldn't figure it out because Steve Nash had enough weapons around him and used them properly.
Right.
Boston in 6 over OKC.
Rex, tell everybody where they can find you on social media and what you got going on this weekend. Are you off this weekend, man, and be back in the studio on Monday?
Your boy's off this weekend because it's WrestleMania weekend, baby. You can find me at WRBL, of course, on WRBL in the mornings, 5, 7 a.m. Eastern. That's 4, 6 Central. We're running the marathon in the morning show at Rex Castillo TV, WRBL Rex Castillo on Facebook. Hey, Thrift, hold it down, my friend. You're doing a great job.
Thanks, Rex. Talk to you later, brother. Love you. That is Rex Castillo of WRBL. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got more. Richard Holders will be coming in for a few minutes. We got Nathan Flurry also going to be joining us, the GM of the Lions, at an 8:30. It is Dana Barker of the Columbus River Dragons. It's a Lions and River Dragons takeover this final hour of the SportsVisions morning show. We'll be right back, everyone, on SportsVisions 92.1 FM.
Back in the days, you was the girl I went to school with. Had to tell your mom, the sister, the cool it. The girl wanna do it, I just might do it. Get her off with some pimp fluid. Mommy, don't worry, I won't abuse it. Hurry up and finish so you can watch Clueless.
You're listening to the SportsVisions morning show. SportsVisions 92.1.
TGIF. Happy Friday, everyone. Thrift Barringer here from the SportsVisions morning show. You can hear me and DJ Jones every weekday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on SportsVisions 92.1 FM. And I got you a great way to enjoy the NBA playoffs as the playing game ends tonight. And we'll have those first-round matchups solidified that start on Saturday. Prize Picks. You can win up to $2,000 a day while enjoying the NBA playoffs. All you got to do is download the Prize Pick app, click more or less on player stats. Very easy to use. And that's it. And if you use promo code Tigers, they'll give you $50 on your first $5 lineup. That's free $50 on your first $5 lineup by using the promo code Tigers. You can thank me later. And I got you one this Saturday. Lakers in Minnesota. Primetime first-round matchup. 3-seed Lakers taking on the 6-seed Minnesota. More or less, Luka Doncic, 29.5 points. Give me more. He is going to be going off in his first playoff game with the Lakers. It's Prize Picks. Run your game.
This hour of the SportsVisions morning show is brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services. Are you ready to make a difference in healthcare? Global Diagnostic Services is hiring. We're looking for compassionate and skilled registered nurses, licensed practical nurses, x-ray technicians, and ultrasound technicians to join our growing team. At Global Diagnostics, we offer competitive pay where you can thrive and advance your career. If you're passionate about patient care and want to be a part of a team that's dedicated to excellence, we want to hear from you. Whether you're looking for a full-time position or a flexible part-time opportunity in the state of Georgia, visit globaldiagnostic.net to apply today.
Minor League Baseball is back in Columbus. Catch Clingstone's baseball every night on SportsVisions 92.1. Your home for the SportsVisions morning show with DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer, the Dan Patrick Show, The Herd with Colin Cowherd, and the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Aflac, helping people for more than 6 decades focus on recovery and not financial stress. Check out their policies at aflac.com.
Don't miss your chance to unlock employee pricing across the Ford family of vehicles at Rivertown Ford. Ford has been committed to America for over 120 years, and this is our commitment to you right now. You pay what we pay. Now through June 2nd, take advantage of employee pricing for all on the outstanding performance of new 2024 and 2025 Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Choose from hundreds of capable, convenient, and versatile vehicles in stock now and save on your next Ford lease or purchase, like the Ford F-Series with incredible power and even more possibilities. Drive away today in America's best-selling truck for 48 years and counting. Or take comfort in the Ford Escape's 5-star crash safety rating. Available in your choice of hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or EcoBoost powertrain. With standout style and convenient connectivity to spare. Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Feel the freedom of choice when you shop exclusive employee pricing today at Rivertown Ford, in our showroom or online at rivertownford.com. Exclusions apply. Please see dealer for details.
Knowledge, wisdom, excellence, service are the core values of Morehouse School of Medicine. To learn more, go to msm.edu.
Hey, get in. What? Who are you? I'm future you. Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Yeah. Mia, our doctor figured it out. She said it's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop Stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
WLTC HD2 Casita and W221DP Columbus. You're listening to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Sports Visions 92.1.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for waking up with the Sports Visions Morning Show. Let's get back to DJ and Thrift on Sports Visions 92.1.
Yeah. I've been blind for a while now. I just got the key that let me in. No ID, doors opening up for me and now I see. I've been blind for a while now. I've been blind for a while now. I've been blind. Hey! Every single damn day, think you next to who? Tomatoes, mustard, mayonnaise. Better catch a kill. They put in my head too hard for me to learn my lesson. My head's hard. The way I did it worked out fine. Ooh, God, you blessed. Hey, man, probably ain't believe me. Lord, went through hell and back.
Welcome back here to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Thrift Barringer, and now bringing them in live from Atlanta is Richard Aldridge. Big Rich, what's up, man?
Hey, what is going on, Thrift?
Good morning, man. We've had an incredible week. I know you're out of town with the family. It's been a long week, and I'm still rock and rolling. We still got a long day today. We got Glenwood playoff baseball at 1 and 3. We'll be on the NFHS network. Unfortunately, we will not be able to stream it because in Alabama, you cannot stream playoff games on any platform but the NFHS. So that sucks, but we still want to be able to help Glenwood out in any way we can. Then we got Columbus Lions. We got Game 3 rubber match, Brookstone and Calvary, as Calvary put off the massive upset against Chonwoo Kim, who came in the game last night 8-1 with a 0.51 ERA and or 1.02 ERA, excuse me. And Calvary was able to didn't play their best and get the victory. Shout out to Tommy Urban, who got the win, and it was a lot of fun to be able to do that, Rich. So we're putting a bow on the season. Northside finishes second. Harris County's third. Glenwood plays playoffs. We got Jordan Shaw to see who's going to be second place in the region, as Columbus has already won theirs. Pacelli, they're going to probably finish around 9 or 10 and get a first-round playoff matchup. Central, they ended their season. They got playoffs next week. Got a lot of good teams, Rich. We could have several champions.
Yeah, Central's going to win the region, but they got upset by Opelika last night, which – Opelika is trying to get into the playoffs. Auburn beat Smith Station. So you're going to have that second seed up for grabs between Auburn and Opelika. But how about those Northside Patriots? They sweep Central at Carrollton. They get the number 2 seed. Stars Mill actually swept Harris County. We were hoping that Harris County would just get one win. And because Northside had the tiebreaker with Stars Mill, they would be the 1 seed. But still, Northside was going to get to host the first round of the playoffs, and so that's going to be great for them. We know that Columbus is hosting, and now we have an opportunity for Shaw and Jordan to try to get the number 2 seed. I just can't believe that baseball is almost done, as it's already done in Alabama for the regular season. We've got playoffs starting, and then playoffs starting next week for the 7A schools, and then we have the public schools in Georgia, which are going to be starting the playoffs next week. And then the GIAA is the last classification that will still be going on. And their regular season doesn't end until that first weekend of May. But yeah, when it comes to the month of May, that's when we're going to hit the ground running with playoffs for all classifications.
All right, we're going to go ahead and bring on Nathan Flurry. Richard's going to be with us on this segment, and with Dana Barker as well here in this Lions and RiverDragons takeover, if you will, Big Rich. And without further ado, I'm going to bring on now the general manager of the Columbus Lions, Nathan Flurry. Nathan, what is up, my man?
Good morning, fellas. How are y'all?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you getting up this morning and joining us. It is a big, I cannot emphasize it enough, a massive
huge day.
Massive day today. With Suction, with Casey Smith, president and one of the owners of the Lions last night. He was saying the same things you've been saying, Nathan. We got to come out strong. This is a prove it game for the Lions. It's a proven game for the NAL. It got undefeated Beaumont, only undefeated team left. Lions, who come in with such a rabid fan base, kind of set the stage for us tonight, man.
Man, pretty much it's just one of those that, like you said, Thrift, we're coming off of a loss last time, and this is a huge game for us. I think this is time for us to really lock in, show people what we're made of. Beaumont beat the Omaha Beef, which was one of the teams that everybody, expected to kind of go undefeated this season. So it's going to be a big game for us. It's time for us to saddle up and go ahead and take the reins and show everybody in the NAL what we're worth, man. Tonight's military night, so there's a lot going on.
Yeah, we'll talk about military night here in just a moment. And, man, a lot happening. We got the RiverDragons. They're on the road. They got their playoff game, the Athens Rock Lobsters, obviously the Clingstones, but nothing bigger than what the Lions have at the Civic Center. They take on Beaumont, and we talked about this in the press conference, man. That game against Carolina on the road, I think, was a wake-up call for all the players and the coaches, and we're really specifically the players, that we can be beat. No more of the days of 85-0, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be getting dominant performances from a lot of teams, and I've been really impressed with the NAL so far. I know you have too, Nathan, and now we got to come out strong. How do you feel about the team, and after talking with Coach Daniels these last couple of practices as we head for Beaumont tonight?
Honestly, the team seems really headstrong. I think we're going to go in with our heads on straight. We're going to go in and hopefully fix the mental errors that we had last time. I think that was one of our biggest issues was just mental errors. We go in with the hot head thinking that, hey, look, we're going to be untouched and unstoppable. But, it's honestly, Thrift, it's a race to 40 points. I've learned that so far being in the NAL. Pretty much the first person that gets to 40 practically wins the game, man. And, we got to come in, we got to buckle up, we got to show everybody what we're worth, we got to focus, and just put everything together, and come together as a team. So, and I think that's something that we're going to do this time. I know Coach Damien has been on top of it. The rest of the coaches have really been on the ball watching these practices. They've been making sure to secure the ball. I know that was one of our issues last game. They've been going over ball control problems that we've had before, and we're going to make sure that stuff don't happen this game.
Nathan, you talk about the home field advantage of the Columbus Civic Center, haven't lost a game there in 3 years. You've had a couple of weeks off to prepare for this one. What's the focus going into this game with Beaumont, especially having this extra time to prepare?
Strategy. That's the best way to say this, and that's what we're focused on is we're going to go in, we're going to focus on all aspects of the ball. We got to work on special teams. We got to make sure we go in and have our head strong. We got to make sure on all offense we're able to go and we're able to run, pass, and have the option. On defense, we just got to make sure we buckle down. We don't let them run on us and can't get a ball off. So that's again. It's all areas of focus, man. Our defense has been really, really dominant this season. But it's time for us to go ahead and buckle in and make sure that nobody can score on us from here on out.
We're talking with first-year GM of the Columbus Lions, Nathan Flurry, who's been in this area for quite some time, man, and got a great reputation, and I've enjoyed working with him and look forward to working with him for many years. Nathan, how's the year going so far, man? I know, you came on kind of late in the game, so you've been really gung-ho, and I feel like, have you been able to get your feet underneath yourself? Have you been able to kind of reflect and dang, man, I'm really the GM of the Lions, and I'm enjoying this? How's this last couple months been for you?
To be honest, man, I hadn't even had the chance to really sit back and reflect. It's one of those that this job keeps me on my toes. It keeps me busy. But all in all, man, it's a dream come true to be, the general manager of a prestigious team like this. Somebody that, again, has been around for 19 years, man. That's
Wow.
a long time to be in an arena football team. So it's an honor. And honestly, like I said, I hadn't even had the chance to really get my feet under me. We've got so much going on, so much new stuff going on, trying to create a good atmosphere, and build this organization. Man, it's phenomenal. It's a trip.
I want you to talk about some of your staff that helps make this possible. That if, obviously you can't do it by yourself, Nathan. I know you do a lot, but you got to have some people that help you out, and shout out those people that have been there right from the beginning.
All right, so you've got Catherine Beggs. She's our director of operations, man. She's absolutely phenomenal. She's kind of like my right hand. I couldn't do anything without her. You got our ownership staff. You got Casey Smith and Richard. They're absolutely phenomenal when it comes to anything. Man, if I've had any questions, any needs whatsoever, they've been there for me. Coach Cole Pickard, great guy. Damian Daniels, man. You're talking about the head coach, the number one dude. I like the fact that he actually takes what I says to heart. Him and I've had some really good conversations. He's helped me, I've helped him. We're a team. We can't do this without each other. The coaching staff's phenomenal. Man, I'm super, super excited, super stoked.
Richard?
Yes. So Nathan, obviously we touched up on military night. I go back to just a special night last night that really put the Columbus Lions on the map, nationally, as Roman Deloach he got a touchdown and he went into the stands and he handed the football to a young soldier out of Fort Benning, and you got to think, that was able to make the Sports Center highlights Sunday morning, and I'm sure there was a lot of people out there like, oh, the Columbus Lions, and now they're back in the NAL. They're getting a little bit more publicity than the two leagues they were in before, talk about, I know that you weren't here last year, but I know we were talking during the press conference that it's military night. There might be something special like that tonight. I know you can't elaborate on anything, but just talk about just the impact that military night has, especially when you have a viral moment like that, like last year.
Well, military night's probably one of our biggest nights. You've got Fort Benning that's right up the road, man. And it's a huge thing for us. We love our military. We're very thankful for everybody in our military, and we like to show them that. That's the reason why we have such a big military night. We've got some stuff in store. I'm not gonna give it away, but we do got some stuff in store tonight for everybody. So I think it'll be a really fun time, a really interesting time, and hopefully it'll be a good show for everybody.
Well, Nathan, how much does it cost? I know the doors open up here at 6 o'clock. What time should people start showing up? We got pregame, got tailgating parties and stuff, and how much and where can they find tickets for tonight's game against the Lions? And then kind of, if you will, for the SportsVisions Nation, I know we talked about it at the press conference, but for the SportsVisions Nation, parking tonight with the Clingstones going on, obviously y'all have had to work in conjunction with them. What's the best way for Lions fans to come in? So where to come early for pregame, how much your tickets cost, and then where to park.
All right, so pretty much, guys, when it comes to the price tag of tickets, general admission's $15 a ticket. So it's fairly cheap to come in and just have a good time, watch us show off. As far as parking, you can come in from Lumpkin, and we'll be filling in at, let's see, D, E, F, and G, which is G's going to start over there at the baseball fields, softball fields, and actually start working their way towards the Civic Center. So it's probably going to be easier to go ahead coming off Lumpkin Boulevard. There's signs up, guys. As far as parking, it's going to be a good night. It's going to be a fun night. If you end up having to come in through the front, no big deal. Just tell them that you're here for the Lions game, and they won't make you pay for parking. We're not going to make you pay.
Thank you, Nathan. Look forward to seeing you at the pregame. You can hear him, Damian Daniels, Casey Smith. All will be on the pregame show, Georgia Alabama Sports Live at 5, and then kickoff at 7 o'clock. Look forward to seeing you in a little bit, man.
All right, man. Thank you guys so much. Y'all have a great day. See y'all later.
That's Nathan Flurry, the GM of the Columbus Lions. All right, Rich, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll rehash more on high school baseball in this area, what people should be expecting. Who are your favorites, Richard? And then we're going to have on Dana Barker. And I know Big Rich is excited to talk about the RiverDragons because they play their probably best game of the season, Rich, Wednesday, winning 7-4. And they got two big ones against Athens. If they can win one of them, they'll move on to that conference finals and probably take on Carolina. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. It's Thrift and Rich on the SportsVisions Morning Show.
Hey, it's Dan Patrick. Thanks for making us your home for local, regional, national sports talk in the Chattahoochee Valley. This is SportsVisions 92.1.
Good morning. I'm Rex Castillo. Here's a look at your morning headlines. Georgia businesses are feeling the pressure from ongoing global tariffs, but the state's Chamber of Commerce is urging for businesses to remain calm, recommending foreign trade zones and alternate supply routes to ease the impact on key industries like manufacturing. technology, and agriculture. Chris Clark, the CEO and president of the Georgia Chamber of Commerce, explains.
We're encouraging Georgia businesses that are importing and exporting to use the Georgia foreign trade zones. This helps you delay duties, look at other factors within the trade supply chain. It's one of the affiliates of the Georgia Chamber. We're also encouraging and seeing businesses looking at different trade routes instead of bringing in goods through other ports to use the Georgia ports.
Meanwhile, federal job cuts are hitting Columbus, with 6 health department employees laid off after a major COVID grant was pulled. Local officials say services will continue for now, but more cuts could be ahead. In Alabama, lawmakers are debating a bill that would let the state take over struggling police departments in high crime cities. But while some see it as a fix, others say deeper issues must be addressed beyond leadership changes. From WRBL News 3, I'm Rex Castillo. Have a great Friday, everybody.
Good Friday morning. We are off to a mild start with these temperatures near 50, and we are under clear skies this morning. It's going to be another beautiful hot spring day as these temperatures reach the upper 80s later this afternoon and tonight. Clear and mild. Those lows falling in the upper 50s. Watch out for some light patchy fog by your Saturday morning. And we're going to be talking about a hot Easter weekend with increasing clouds. Those rain chances slowly increase next week.
Don't miss your chance to unlock employee pricing across the Ford family of vehicles at Rivertown Ford. Ford has been committed to America for over 120 years, and this is our commitment to you right now. You pay what we pay. Now through June 2nd, take advantage of employee pricing for all on the outstanding performance of new 2024 and 2025 Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. Choose from hundreds of capable, convenient, and versatile vehicles in stock now and save on your next Ford lease or purchase. Like the Ford F-Series with incredible power and even more possibilities. Drive away today in America's best-selling truck for 48 years and counting. Or take comfort in the Ford Escape's 5-star crash safety rating. Available in your choice of hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or EcoBoost powertrain with standout style and convenient connectivity to spare. Ford Motor Company, from America for America. Feel the freedom of choice when you shop exclusive employee pricing today at Rivertown Ford, in our showroom or online at rivertownford.com. Exclusions apply. Please see dealer for details.
Corey's Furniture Express, your express way to save.
It's springtime and a perfect time for you to visit Corey's luxurious outdoor patio. This is not your average big box store outdoor furniture. This will last you season after season after season. Sofas, love seats, and outdoor recliners. Come see it for yourself, and that's only at Corey's Furniture, Alabama Highway 169 in Opelika.
TGIF. Happy Friday, everyone. Thrift Barringer here from the SportsVisions Morning Show. You can hear me and DJ Jones every weekday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on SportsVisions 92.1 FM. And I got you a great way to enjoy the NBA playoffs as the play-in game ends tonight. And we'll have those first-round matchups solidified that start on Saturday. Prize Picks. You can win up to $2,000 a day while enjoying the NBA playoffs. All you got to do is download the Prize Pick app. Click more or less on player stats. Very easy to use, and that's it. And if you use promo code Tigers, they'll give you $50 on your first $5 lineup. That's free $50 on your first $5 lineup by using the promo code Tigers. You can thank me later. And I got you one this Saturday. Lakers in Minnesota. Primetime first-round matchup. 3-seed Lakers taking on the 6-seed Minnesota. More or less, Luka Doncic, 29.5 points. Give me more. He is going to be going off in his first playoff game with the Lakers. It's Prize Picks. Run your game.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I pushed through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Now back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Here's Denver Broncos 1987 AFC champion DJ Jones and Thrift Barringer.
I wanna dance tonight. I wanna toast tonight. I'll spend my money tonight. I'll spend my money.
Welcome back to the Sports Visions Morning Show. Richard Holdridge out of town. DJ Jones on his way. He's actually heading up in Atlanta to head to Tampa Bay. Big Rich, we were talking high school baseball. Calvary taking down Brookstone. You were there for that. What a game for them. If they win against Brookstone still controls their own destiny to win the region. That was their first region loss of the year. So even if they lose tonight, they would have to lose another game to have that tie with Calvary, and then Calvary win with a tiebreaker because they won the series 2 out of 3. I don't know if Brookstone loses again, but for Calvary, and when talking with Steve Smith, he doesn't care about that. He thinks beating Brookstone 2 out of 3 could be a huge momentum chaser that turns his, the trajectory of his season around. Now, he knows he played a tough schedule, and he knows that could come back to help him. He could have scheduled easy games at 120 and then been a team that could have been a fraud. Now he's playing with these losses. These are learning experiences, Richard, and Calvary got a big one yesterday. They play tonight. Who are some other teams you're looking at that could win a championship?
Well, obviously Glenwood, they are taking on Hale County tonight, games 1 and 2. They should take care of business here. I think St. James is a team that they could face in their bracket, but you got to put them as the favorites to win the 3A classification in the AHSAA. Central, even though they lost to Opelika, they're still going to win the region. They're still going to be a team that's going to compete for a state championship. I also think Northside, getting to host, being the number 2 seed, they have a chance. Even though Stars Mill, they swept Harris County, they're one of the top 10. They're in the top 10 as far as
now probably top 5. And they won a championship last year.
Yeah, they won a championship last year. But I like Columbus in 2A. I think Columbus coming down from 3A to 2A, they're going to host a couple of rounds in the playoffs, and because they're going to be one of the top seeds. And I also think after that, I mean, we have obviously Brookstone, but Calvary, that was a statement win last night against Calvary. You're talking about they were a 6 seed. Brookstone would be a 2 seed, based off the rankings going into that game. But I do think that Calvary is going to go up. I think they got a favorable path to at least get to the GIAA semifinals. There might be a chance they could end up facing Brookstone in the playoffs. So Calvary plays Pacelli for a 3-game series next week. Brookstone will take on Strong Rock, and then Brookstone's got that makeup game against Westfield School on the 2nd of May. But you're right, Brookstone controls their own destiny, and I think that this is going to give Calvary momentum to have a great series against Pacelli next week. I cannot wait for that 3-game series. Pacelli trying to play spoiler because right now they would be the 9 seed. They're trying to sneak into the playoffs. So you got these fantastic teams battling for position as we wrap up the regular season.
Yeah, exactly right, DJ. I mean, not DJ, Richard. I'm so with DJ, who is out of town. I mean, we're all part of the Sports Visions Nation, but Central 7-8, as you made mention, they got a big playoff coming up next week. I expect them to make it to at least the semifinals. Glenwood, aside from St. James, who is actually in their quadrant, they would take on them in the quarterfinals, and they would take on the number 1 team according to Alabama Sports Writers poll. I don't agree with it, but they have Prattville Christian ranked number 1. They would play them in the semifinals, Richard. Wow. And then the state championship would be a whole nother team from the opposite side. So St. James and Prattville and Glenwood, those are the top 3 teams in 3A, and Glenwood could face them before they even get to the state championship, both of those teams. You may mention a Brookstone, who we think is one of the favorites to win it all this year in the GIAA. Harris County and Northside. Northside's going to be hosting a playoff game. Columbus won their region. They should be hosting a playoff game. Jordan and Shaw battling it out. Potentially maybe one of them could host a playoff game. Both of them are going to make the playoffs, but one's can host. And It would be really cool if Jordan hosted a playoff game. If that happens, we will make sure out of all the playoff games next week, that one we will get, because that's history, man. That's hosting. They haven't done it in a long time, and we want to show support to the Jordan Red Jackets. And, of course, Hardaway is that fourth team. Maybe it could be a fifth. Spencer could right there on the outside looking in to make it to the 2A playoffs. So we'll see how it wraps up. Like Richard said, next week, playoffs for the GHSA school and all Alabama schools. GIAA, they end the week. The regular season ends May 3rd. The state championships for Glenwood potentially could be the week of May 17th, that Friday and Saturday, or that week of. So they'll be there. The May 29th to 31st, the GIAA state championships. The GHSA is the May 24th week. So we're already here, man. It's already playoffs. All right. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. He does one of 500 million things. He is a referee. He works for Auburn. He also is my weather guy, and he's a PA announcer of the Columbus RiverDragons. And more importantly, he's my friend, DB, Dana Barker. What's up, man?
Good morning, guys. How are y'all? TGIF. Happy Good Friday, by the way.
Yeah, happy Good Friday, and hope everyone enjoys their Easter weekend. First things first, man. How's everything been with you? It seems like every 2 weeks we got some mega storm that's coming in that you're having to get on Facebook Live to update everyone. How's it been with you? Because it seems like you're always doing something.
Yeah, man, I've been kind of quiet. Actually, I filled in Albany a couple of weeks ago. We had that tornado here in Midland that affected, over by Bull Creek. That same system went down to South Georgia. I was filling in Albany, and we had 10 tornado warnings down there the day I was filling in. So that was a fun time. Been quiet since then, though, but I think we're due. I think we're going to see maybe more rough weather coming in the next couple of weeks or so. But been kind of quiet on the weather front. Sports front, of course, it's awesome being in South Commons. What a time to be alive, right? I mean, Lions play tonight. Clingstone still have that new car smell of the first series. The RiverDragons are in Athens tonight. Big game there against the Rock Lobsters. So, man, it's a good time to be a Columbus sports fan. Y'all don't have a dearth of things to talk about. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
And listen, there is so many things to do in this area, but let's go ahead and start because I do want to talk Auburn spring game and get your opinion on that because I've had some hot takes, Dana. So definitely going to talk that here in a little bit. But first, let's start with the RiverDragons and big win on Wednesday.
Huge win.
I have not kept up with the team like you do. That's why I'm having you on, DB. But in my opinion, from what I've heard from other people, they said this may have been the biggest win of the season, and that may have been the best that the RiverDragons have played this year. What's your thought after getting that win and only needing one more on the road against Athens?
Absolutely. I concur with that. A huge team effort, too. And it wasn't just, Kyle Moore scored a couple. Alex Torjahan scored a couple. The difference in Columbus and Athens is that Athens has about 4 guys who are just absolute studs. But if you look at the scoring, it's, bam, 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 bam. They're up toward the top of the league, and then after that, it kind of falls off. The thing with Columbus this year is it's been pretty consistent scoring. And your first line, your second line, your third line, any one of those lines can score at any given night. You're not having to look at, like Athens, you're looking at that line. If they don't score, then you got to start plugging other people in and, trying to prod them to score. That's a big thing. Number 2, acquiring Trevor Babin from Motor City was huge. I think some of our goalies might have had a stigma against Athens. We played all those Wednesday night games in February back in Athens, and we just didn't have good luck there. Trevor Babin didn't play in any of those. He's kind of new. He's coming in fresh. He's got a kind of an edge to him, too. He plays pretty good. And he gave up 4 at the end, but, a few of those were like in garbage time. He played – we need to play good hockey. He played some damn good hockey and made some great saves. So that's also another plus, too, is having great goaltending and a guy who can steal a game for you.
Richard?
Dana, the 1-2 playoff format, it could help you.
Hate it.
But it could also hurt you. I
hate it.
A lot of people hate it. Last year, Columbus takes game 1 on the road against Carolina, and they end up losing games 2 and 3 at the Civic Center. You just had a hot goaltender for the Thunderbirds. But in this case, Columbus wins game 1, knowing Athens – they're in elimination games now. I know both games are going to be at home, but how much of an advantage is that Athens is only 3 hours away and the travel, Columbus doesn't really have to deal with that. They can actually go back home if they choose, or they could stay in Athens, but they're going to be making that trip, and it's only 3 hours.
Right. And you touched on it being 3 hours away. I don't know why we did a 1-2. 1-2 is to save travel. Like if you're playing, like if we're playing Motor City or Port Huron, this in Detroit, Michigan, basically, right? That's what we do a 1-2, because we save, instead of doing a 1-1-1, we do it to save travel. If the home team can host a game one, or the higher seed can host a game one, I don't know why you don't. So I don't know why we didn't do a 1-1-1 there. Hey, it's to our advantage though, right? So I mean, we won. We sold that game one at home, had home ice advantage. Athens is a tough place to win in. We haven't won there. I think we only have like 1 or 2 wins there out of 5 or 6 times we've been there. So I mean, it's going to be home ice advantage for them. Hopefully, I'm thinking there's not going to be a very big crowd there as well, because playoff games, you can't really advertise them because you don't really know the date's till about a week or so out. So the hope is that they don't have a big crowd there. We could turn into Columbus Civic Center North, and we get a dub there. So and like Richard said too, I think we'll probably stay up there. I don't know if we're going to come back and forth. Who'd want to stay in Athens, though, right? But anyway, we might end up staying there, overnight if it goes 3 games. But hey, let's get out of that mindset. We're going to win tonight, and then bring it back home and get ready and rest up for the second round there.
Do you feel like with the 1-2 format and the River Dragons not going to have home court advantage at all, home ice advantage at all the rest of the playoffs, that this format could help them maybe get hot and win a championship?
Absolutely. I mean, if you can steal a game at home, that's why I wish we could take a better look at it and see if we can do something better with that. But you don't want to, you can't do a 2-1, because, if you have 2 games, you win those 2 games, and you don't host a game. I just don't know a better way to do it. And with the league so spread out, now we're getting a team next year in Topeka, Kansas. So that makes it even more spread out. We're going to Dorothy and Toto land, getting one in Florence, South Carolina. Got one in Florence, South Carolina as well, though. So that's a good thing. So I mean, we got one about 5 hours away, so that's not terrible on travel. So we got a pretty close rival too. But I mean, I wish there was a way around it. But if you steal that game one as a lower seed, you're in the catbird seat, and that's the drawback to saving on travel by doing that 1-2 format.
Richard, one more question, because I know you got to get out of here, man.
No, I got some people saying hi to me. They don't realize I'm on the radio. No, it's awesome. By the way, Dana, I'm up here in Atlanta. Just enjoying time with the family. But
good deal.
I do want to talk about you being a meteorologist. That tornado that hit Midland. I mean, it was close to my heart, because I live in Midland. In fact, my family was driving on J.R. Allen Parkway. Never got a tornado warning off my phone. Didn't even realize it was a tornado. And then going down up Manchester Expressway and seeing all those trees, and we were stuck in it. It was just a scary moment. And my thoughts and prayers go out to that family of the father and son who were golfing at Bull Creek. That's just got to be scary. But the thing about you being a meteorologist, that you have to report the scariness. But just take us through what exactly went down there. Like, why were there so many? I heard it was an EF1 tornado. Why were there so much damage, and what was going through, like, just the whole process?
Gotcha. So there was a lot of storms that came through, and actually the people that said we didn't have any warning, we had a severe thunderstorm warning 20 minutes out from when it hit Bull Creek. And I know people don't take that. We have those a lot. You're like, it's just a thunderstorm. It's not. If it's a severe thunderstorm, it's not just a thunderstorm. It can create 60-mile-an-hour winds or hail. So, I hate the Monday morning quarterback when there was fatalities, but we had a little bit of warning there. It started getting rotation as it went over North Columbus. I was actually standing outside at my mother's house, and I could feel the winds kind of twisting. And I'm about line of sight about 2 miles back from Beaver Run. If you draw a line from my mom's house to Kitten Lake, Midland, right there, Beaver Run, I'm on that line. So it kind of passed over, and then it touched down about 2 more miles out. They didn't really see it until it was almost on the ground, because the rotation didn't really get tight enough to issue a warning until. And that's another thing too. We're trying to fight the cry wolf syndrome. We're trying to keep the false alarm rate down. So meteorologists are trying to make very sure that something is about to go down before they pull that trigger and sound those sirens, issue the tornado warning. So that was part of what was going on with it too. We had that big severe warning. So I don't want to speculate what happened in Bull Creek, and like you said, my thoughts and prayers go out to that family, and it's just a tragic situation. It really is.
Yeah.
But I just want to know, what maybe could have been done on the back end there. But it's a slippery slope having to keep that false alarm rate down and not wanting to cry wolf about that, and that's kind of what went into why there was some tornado warning. Second thing too, real quick, is that now shout out to. Lost my train of thought. New EMA director, Chance Corbett. Yeah, Chance Corbett. Shout out to Chance Corbett, because now all the sirens in Muskogee County only go off for that part of the area that's in the tornado warning. So there are only a certain number of sirens in Midland and Eupatoy that went off for that warning. If you were in South Columbus or downtown, you didn't hear a siren. You shouldn't have had. You didn't need to hear a siren. It wasn't for you.
Right.
So we got those we call polygon-based warnings now. You draw a little box where the tornado warning is. Any siren in that box goes off. The others don't. So that was kind of the thing. Well, I didn't hear a siren. Well, if you're in downtown, midtown, south side, you didn't need to because you weren't in the warning in the first place. So that was kind of the different thing too that was going on with that. So it's just a lot of things to take into account, and we try to not cry wolf and issue these warnings, and it's a slippery slope, Richard. Man, there's no real silver bullet answer to it, to be honest with you.
There is science to try to figure out when the warning is, but you're right. When it comes to the cry wolf part of it, that it takes away really everything that y'all do and the hard work you do, Dana. It really kind of frustrates me. The social media weathermen and women that come out and try to put out false narratives. That's why I always say, go to someone you trust. And I always trust you, Dana. So I always push people in your direction. Even if you're not on camera or whatever it may be, you'll push people in the right direction on where they need to go. Richard, thank you so much for joining us, man. Enjoy your family time.
Yeah.
We're going to stay right here with Dana Barker. All right, DB.
Yeah. Real quick before we get off of that, though, I mean, it's kind of the same thing like you and Richard and, the Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Right.
We know, no secret. You guys can monetize what you do a little bit.
Right.
People take advantage of that, though. People know they can monetize it based on likes and clicks. They're going to put that scary outlook out there. They're going to put like, are you going to die today in a tornado? They're going to put stuff like that out there because people are going to take their mouse and they're going to click on it and they're going to like it and they're going to share it with their friends. And that's how they make money off of that. So there's bad actors out there that try to monetize all people's emotions. And that's just a sucky part of how social media is today. You've got good people like us that try to give information and try to bring the story to people that we need to. And then you got others who are just plain bad actors that I don't know what we do about that. Anyway, Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm glad you said that, because I want to say, the difference is, we have clickbait stuff in sports, but it's not life or death situations. When you're playing with that, that's where you're talking about. And I completely agree with you.
Absolutely.
You're walking a fine line of really your morals, in my opinion. You're putting that on the pedestal.
That and folks have PTSD from it. You don't have PTSD because your team lost in a championship. You have PTSD because a tornado hit you 10 years ago.
And
so you're playing people's emotions when it comes to that.
Hot take alert. I watched a glorified. I don't know if you were there on Saturday, but
hotter take. I didn't watch it, so I might be limited in my talk with you, but we'll go with it.
It ain't really about anything that happened on the field, man. It is just about the mindset of what spring game is. Because I watched a glorified training matchup, man. I took my girlfriend and her son, and I wanted to I'm trying to get him into college football and loving it at a young age. And when he's watching stretching, when he's watching 15 different drills going on, 7 different sessions, that's hard to keep up with when you're 7, 8, 9-year-old, man. And then you only got an hour. And the only fun part about the practice was the last 7 minutes, they finally had 7-on-7. So the only thing we saw competitive was at the very end. Now you're seeing Georgia. They actually played a little bit more competitive stuff. Auburn did nothing. Same with Alabama.
It was 7-on-7, though. What if your favorite player is a lineman? What if you want to come see how the line looks this year?
You can't watch it.
Exactly.
So what's your thought right now on 2 things? One, either getting rid of spring games, which looks like some coaches are trying to do, or do what Dion and Fran Brown, the coach from Colorado and Syracuse, try to play each other. I've even brought up several times, and now I'm hearing other people say it, why not play a Jacksonville State? Why not play one of those FCS schools instead of the regular season? Play them in the spring, pay them then, and then play. What would be your mindset to keep the spring game, or do you even care about keeping it?
No, I do care about keeping it because that keeps it year round. I mean, that gives your fan base a little bit of a taste of what's to come. I mean, I don't understand why you don't do it. It's a great PR tool to keep your team and keep your fan base active.
Right.
Same thing in high school. It's the same trend in high school. You know, it's about that time I'm going to go ask all the high school coaches, hey, you got spring game this year? And fewer are doing spring games. Like, oh man, we're just going to add the OTAs in summer. We're not going to do that. So it's number one, a culture mindset. Number two, I'd like to see, and maybe a hot take back to you, Thrift. I don't know how much NIL is having to do with this as well.
Yeah.
You know, I think NIL, and I hate to be a Nick Saban, NIL is freaking killing the sport, man. It's turned into a glorified, you know, it's a tier 2 professional league now. Basically, it's NFL junior now. You know, I mean, I don't know. Got to put guardrails on it. I don't know how we, talking about Tennessee quarterback, right? I mean,
no,
he was offered $2 million, offered $2 million, and now he's asking for $1 million, and wants to get offered what he got paid in Knoxville to go transfer. I mean, come on now. It's a student athlete, and the biggest word there should be student. You're a student athlete. That whole hallmark of you're here to get your education. That's BS now. I mean, that's all thrown out. I mean, we're basically glorified pro athletes now. It's basically NFL junior, NFL light. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you stop it, how you fix it, put guardrails on it. I don't know who steps up and does it, and they're gonna be the bad guy. They're gonna, whoever steps up and says it and finally tries to implement it is gonna be the one with all the all the pitchforks coming their way. But man, I don't know. It's broken. That's for dang sure.
100%, man. And I'm with you. I've had some hot takes on Nico because I feel like, for one, you can't come out now and say the offense not predicated around you. I find it hard to believe Josh Heupel, who is known to be a quarterback whisperer, is not turning the offense around you. So that's nonsense, and I'm not listening to that. And I'm with Josh.
And my thing is, if they beat Ohio State, is he having this conversation?
Absolutely.
If they end up winning, if they win in the horseshoe, are we having this conversation?
Can I tell you a big reason, Dana? I think a lot of this is happening, and why players are getting away with it is because the NCAA was corrupt. Okay. And in the early 80s and 90s, their way and their stance on way they penalized players for signing jerseys for $50, or what they did with Des Bryant. Remember Todd Gurley, and suspended guys and making money on the backs of amateurism, which was not okay. All right. But now they're using that for what they did 30 years ago. And players now, because players now are not getting taken advantage of. Players then were. Now they are using that because the NCAA now has no power, because they keep throwing in your face. Look what you did in the 90s and 2000s. You can't do anything now. Well, no, they need to do something now. Yeah. It is a wild, wild west. You can't tell me this is how college sports is supposed to be. You got someone like Chad Baker-Mazar, who I love. Auburn could have released him last year, man. He got ejected in the first round and really cost Auburn to get upset by Yale.
Against Yale. Yep.
Bruce kept him. Bruce signed him to another NIL deal at the end of the regular season this year, and he's in the transfer portal looking for more money. You can't tell me that's right. If you sign somewhere, Dana, in real life, there are consequences for walking away from it. There are no consequences right now. Something's got to change, but nothing's going to change if we rely on the NCAA, because the backlash is going to continue to be that they're corrupt. Look what they did in the past. We can't give them that type of power. So who would be your guy? Would it be Saban? Who would be that guy that could come in and put their foot down?
I think it's Saban. I mean, the whispers is that's why Saban left, because he knew this was going to turn into the Wild West, and he knew it was going to be this bad. That the whispers was that's the reason that Nick left. It wasn't that he wanted to have some quality time at ESPN or wanted to live some quality years after that. I mean, he's the best one in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. He's the one he's been in it. He's probably been in that. To be honest with you, he's probably been in some of that illegal stuff too. I mean, with the Julio Jones and the cars and T-Town menswear and all that. I mean, there were whispers about that. I think he did it. If he did it, he did it the right way. I mean, I'm saying this with an Auburn shirt on. If he did it the right way. But back in the day, it was only like what? A few tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, it was like, it wasn't anything big, signing autographs for $10,000, the Johnny Manziel thing, for $10K, doing that. Now it's for, because you turn the other cheek to it. Well, now guess what? Instead of $10,000, you add a couple more zeros to it. And now we're talking about freaking millions being thrown around here. And that's just what gets me. And it's I don't know. And where does that cost go back to? It goes back to the fans, it's going to be where, your ticket's going to be more and more and more and more and more and more expensive. You gotta fund that, and, we have it. What we have here, we have On to Victory, which is the NIL collective.
Yep.
Schools now have NIL collectives where there's basically, it's Sunday morning and here comes the offering plate. I mean, it's basically what it is. I'm serious. I mean, I hate to compare it to that, but especially on Easter weekend. That's basically what it is, man. I mean, it's I don't know, man. It's brutal, and it's sucking the enjoyment out of college sports.
I agree with that. And last thing on this particular topic, because there's a couple of things I want to talk with you, Dan, and we got 8 minutes left in the show.
Okay.
Is there's guys, and I'm correlating to college basketball. I said this earlier on the show. There are guys that are putting up 5 or 6 points a game, glorified role players that are asking for more money than rookies in the NBA. How does that make sense? They'll never sniff the NBA, but they're making more than an NBA rookie is. No way, man. You can't have a guy ask for averaging 5 points a game, good player off the bench. Hey, I'll come to your school if you sign me for $600,000. Holy smokes. Not even a starter, dude, and you're asking for that type of money. That's the world college basketball and college landscape is in. I did want to ask, because I was there on Saturday on the field and actually saw some officials that have been in your Big East Association, and they were, I don't know what they were doing, to be honest with you.
Oh, the flag game, the alumni flag game.
Okay, that's why they were there, because they were also watching some of the scrimmages, but I'm like, how are they
that? And they're also probably the chain crew too. The chain crew was there. That's some of our guys, and we had I think a 5-man crew did that alumni flag game they do before A-Day. That was at 11 o'clock. I think A-Day was at noon.
Yeah. So I was wondering why I saw them there. So this is basically your cry out to some of these high schools, and for anyone that is interested, because you always need officials on, for one, why spring games are important, not just for the schools, but also for yourself and your organization, because they want to complain about referees. Well, give us more opportunities to go out there and work on our craft. And let us have some spring games. So, and then for those who are interested in potentially being a referee.
Yep. I will say this, though. There are a lot of coaches in our association that we officiate with that are always open to us coming in their open scrimmages, their OTAs, stuff like that. So, but I don't want to dismiss that, because we can get opportunities, maybe not like full on spring games. Right. We're a dying breed, man. Officiating is a dying breed all across, not just football. All sports are kind of a dying breed here, just because of the microscope we're put under. And dovetailing to what we've been talking about, Georgia has NIL in high school now, in GHSA. Alabama, I'm waiting for their shoe to drop there. So, and these coaches, we talked about it before, I think another show, these coaches now are making 6 figures easily. So it's a pressure cooker. It's not just, hey, I'm a science teacher, I'm going to go coach a high school football team. No, it's, I'm a high school football coach, I'm going to go teach science. It's the reverse now, basically. Right. So all that pressure. So, and the pressure gets put onto us. And you can tell these 20-something-year-old kids that, hey, man, they're not yelling Dana Barker. I repeated this on other shows just to drive the point home. Hey, man, they're not yelling Dana Barker. They're yelling at this orange shirt Dana Barker has on. They don't know you as Dana Barker. They know you as this Auburn guy, as this ref, basically. They don't know you as that. So we're trying to use, and we talked about that, we try to use some of these soft skills to impress upon the officials how to talk to coaches, and understand how to, cut the noise, not have rabbit ears where you hear everything and get sensitive to it. Having said all that, if you're at home, bigeastfoa@gmail.com. And I keep on saying I'm going to get on Facebook and comment on here. bigeastfoa@gmail.com. We're kind of in our recruiting phase, if you will, right now. We start up meetings a little bit after Father's Day. We're actually going to have a little cookout in Auburn. We're gonna get together and have a little. Hey, what's going on the chat? Never mind. I don't know what's going. Yeah, something's funny. I'm
sorry, because Mike Kelly is coming up right here in the studio and was making faces at me, and I'm like, Jesus, you're catching me off.
Is it DJ Mike Kelly?
Yeah, DJ Mike Kelly. Nice. Mike Kelly.
Yeah, I know Mike Kelly. Hey,
go ahead.
I'm telling you, I think I told him on Facebook, Hinder Get Stoned for the Clingstones walkout song.
I love it.
Got to do it, man. Got it. Does Mike like it?
Yeah.
Okay, he likes it. All right, cool.
There we go.
Anyway, bigeastfoa@gmail.com. Holler at me. We can always use officials, and we will get you trained up. We have a pretty robust training program. We've got guys there. Thrift touched on it. We got guys that are in the college ranks. We've got awesome, good deal. We've got guys in the college ranks. We've got guys that have called pretty high up. We've got plenty of guys that work high school championships, myself included. So we've got a pretty pretty seasoned staff of people that can help you out there.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, Dana. I'll tell Mike Kelly, don't ever interrupt me again when I have Dana Barker on.
He's fine.
He's going to come after you. But Dana, you see the versatility of my guy, Dana Barker. Thank you so much, man. Look forward to seeing you real soon. And let's go Dragons, right?
Yeah, man. Let's go Dragons tonight. And if not tonight, tomorrow night in Athens. Love you, brother. And we'll be in touch, man. See ya.
Love you, DB. That's Dana Barker. He's all things that from weather to sports to refereeing. He does it all, man. And again, go to bigeastfoa@gmail.com if you're interested in refereeing. They do pay well. They take care of you, and you're going to learn the game of football, and you get to be there. Listen, it is an incredible show, man. It really is. And so I'm excited to be able to promote that out there, because listen, you get to be a part of the Big East Association for one, and then for two, you get to be on Friday night in the best seat in the house. You're on the field with all the action. Man, what an incredible show today, and I've had a lot of fun in being able to do that. So let's and I appreciate all the comments too. I am going to shout out some of the comments, including Sandra Vet Shelton saying, good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. DJ saying, big ups to the Harris County Sports Vision winners. DJ is on the road heading to Tampa Bay. It's actually in the air. My mom says, good morning. Happy Friday. Natalie Vega, babe. She said, Heat Nation. Big Miami fan. Candy Lowe says, great morning. Javar Rakestraw says, I don't see Atlanta as a championship caliber team with Trey as a starting point. He plays less defense every year, and I agree with that. And he's a talented six man. I don't know. I feel like on a really good team, Trey could play off ball and be competitive. I wouldn't say six man, but I don't know if you're giving him the keys to the organization. I don't believe he's that good. Could he be good enough to play maybe with like a Wembanyama, who can throw him alley-oops and both of them can live in the paint like De'Aaron Fox? Yeah, I think he'd be perfect for like that. But if you're telling me make my whole organization around him, I'm not willing to say that. And say blaming the kids because NIL deals are bad is ridiculous. Who draws up the contracts? Once again, America's throwing the blame because big business are messing up the paperwork. Media is making money. Schools are making money. If the school doesn't want a kid anymore, they slam the kid on the bench, and in their career, pressure is now on the programs to manage the money and the personnel. I do agree with that, Javar. It's not I'm not blaming the kids for it. I'm laughing at it. I can laugh at it. I promise you that. If I see someone that's averaging 5 points a game asking for $500,000, yeah, I'm gonna laugh at that because I don't think you're worth $500,000. He's more than willing to ask for it. And if there's a school out there to give it to him, hey, more power to him. You're right. All this money being made, it needs to go to the kids. But you're telling me a role player on a team that goes 20-14 and is a 9 seed in the NCAA tournament, he doesn't even start for that team, and he's getting $600,000 to average 6 points a game. Yeah, I think that's pretty funny. I'm definitely going to laugh at it. But in the end, I don't blame the kids for the way it's going. I definitely blame the NCAA. The NCAA has no power. I blame the powers that be for making all this money and not having any guardrails. So trust me, no blame is on the kids. And to be honest, I don't think we've had anyone on this program that blames the kids. That doesn't mean we can't talk about the fact that kids are asking for money that they probably don't deserve, and that is a ton of it. Nico Mayalava, who is asking for $4 million. Carson Beck's getting $4 million, and I laughed at that when he got it. I'm going to laugh at Nico, too. Carson Beck played in the playoffs, won a playoff, was one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. Nico was not that. He was 5th or 6th on the SEC this year, and he was asking for $4 million. That is where we're at, because there's no guardrails. There's no market right now for what players are worth. It's just a wide open Wild Wild West, and I'm hoping we actually get somebody that comes in and can fix all the problems that are going on in college football. Well, thank y'all so much for watching. We appreciate it as always. We love the comments as you always do. We love the support. Thank you to all our we have from Nathan Flurry to Dana Barker, Richard Aldridge, DJ Jones, Rick Beach, Rex Castillo. I am Thrift Barringer saying thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time on the SportsVisions Morning Show.
Yeah, I find you, I gave you all you needing. I know what you like. I feel it coming. Time is of the essence.
This hour of the Sports Visions Morning Show is brought to you by Global Diagnostic Services. Are you ready to make a difference in healthcare? Global Diagnostic Services is hiring. We're looking for compassionate and skilled registered nurses, licensed practical nurses, x-ray technicians, and ultrasound